Assalamu alaikum. Is anybody there? So I'll do a quick live until Fajr, inshallah. So bear with me. I'll see if I can put the link in the chat. I don't know if anyone can hear me. If you can, please let me know. I can't hear myself, so I'm not sure if the audio is coming through. Let me see. So I put the link in the description, and I'll put it there. So, who knows Bro Haji? Anybody know who that is? What's he talking about? What's going on? Here is Bro. Anyone knows? Let me know, please. Yes. Yeah, I'm just walking. Anyhow, if anybody's got anything to say, just type it. If anyone can hear me, just type a 1 in the chat, please, because I cannot tell. If you can't hear me, then I'll stop and I'll start again. Ah, yeah, big up, right? So I see you. Somebody says, when will you accept Jesus' reaction? I do. Yes. LOL. Yeah, so if anyone knows who. So Waiso says, this link isn't in the description. Oh, okay. Alaikum salam, Faz. Big up. Not sure why it isn't. I thought I posted it, so let me put it in the comments. Shoot. Are you traveling or something, actually? Oh, but the noise you might hear. It's in the description now. Quite a lot of homeless people here. Sleeping in the park, by the way. Claire Core says Christianity is idolatry and blasphemy. Christianity. AKJV 1611. Yeah, what's her name? Get back in shape gradually. Are we allowed to look down here? Are we allowed to be walking down the street officially? Really? Yeah.
How goes it, buddy?
I can't hear anything. My volume's up. I can't hear any sound. Why so? I see you added, but I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you what, let me disconnect my headset and reconnect. Yeah, I cannot hear anything.
What's up? You can't hear me yet?
I hear you now, but not through my headset. I hear you through the phone.
Oh, okay. You're also breaking up quite bad.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna reboot my phone and come back.
All right. Well, I'm still here. But I don't know. Earlier, I was said to have spoken to a fake Jordan M account, but I don't believe it was a fake Jordan M account. He changed the small case M to a large case, and that's what the channel was. So I don't understand why people would say it's like anybody else missed the time when in YouTube somebody was in the comments, you could click their name and go to their channel to double check that it was them. I wonder why YouTube changed that. I don't understand why YouTube changed that. You know, it used to be where you could verify that it's the actual channel. But now it's like, no, all you can do is when you click on their name, report them or block them. To me, that makes no sense. You know, it's probably YouTube doing some PC BS where they don't want people to.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. I think it's working.
And I hear you better too.
Oh, fantastic.
I was just speaking about how earlier on Veli's channel, I allegedly got into a conversation with the fake Jordan M, but his account changed the little case M to a big case M and the lowercase J to a big case, to a capital J, which was on his channel, and that's the person. And I was just saying, like, I don't understand why YouTube changed it. It used to be where you could click on a person's name and chat, and you could actually, it would take you to their channel. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
And now it's just block or report.
Yep.
I wonder why they did that. You know what I mean?
That's a good question. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. It's disappointing because that would have helped prevent a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah, it would prevent people from faking. But I don't know. I think it's kind of a PC thing, right? Because people say things and they don't want that account to be like to be ran over by people in chat. You get what I'm saying? Like all of a sudden they say something that people disagree with, and they're trying to protect them. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh no, you can't go to their channel and just constantly write to them, which I think is kind of stupid. But
I don't think it protects them in that way, because the profile name and the channel name of the poster and their profile picture is still the same. So anybody can search for it, filter by channels, and they'll see them. All that it does, it allows the person who types to dispute the fact that they even typed in the first place.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like it's trying to cover up people who who
it gives them an excuse.
Yeah,
it gives them a way out. Yeah, that's all.
And that's the
Which
thing.
is
like,
sad.
They were saying that it's not the real Jordan M that was speaking to. Council of Nice Ears is his name. That was saying that I was like, no, like, because the Jordan M does change his account every couple of weeks. He changes the name.
I haven't seen that. I've seen him change his profile picture, but I didn't know he changes the name as well.
Yeah, like a couple of weeks ago, he changed to Muslim Geezer. Oh, Geezer.
Oh, then, yeah, I've seen that account. That is him, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he also he'll change like the capital letters and the lowercase letters just to like, and then you go check his account, his real account. If it's in agreement with that and it has the same avatar, then it's definitely him, because he's created his own avatar. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reason nobody can be fooled about Why So Religious if they try to do my account, is because I have 5 avatars that I created through Adobe. You know what I'm saying? So
but anyone can copy that.
Yeah, if they go to my video, right? I have used 3 of my avatars in videos, but I have 2 of them that I have not used. So if there was a fake account with Why So Religious using any of those avatars, I could go to one that I haven't used, and the only size that they would be able to crop would be a live stream avatar, right? You get what I'm saying? So they would have to crop that little circle and then try to fill it into a real avatar space, and it wouldn't work. You there?
You hear me?
Now I hear you. Were you speaking?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what is it that you think Jordan M said that he's trying to hide from?
No, I don't think he's hiding from it. I'm saying that YouTube is trying to hide people and their comments.
Okay, like, so were you discussing something with Jordan?
Yeah, but that wasn't what I was talking about. What I was talking about is YouTube. The reason that I think that they changed it from where you can now no longer go to the channel of the person commenting is that they're trying to protect people from being from saying things and then people mass going to their account and checking on them. If you get what I'm saying, they're trying to protect people from having to back up their words with their account.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I can talk about what Jordan and I was speaking about.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, my son, he's trying to climb up. We have this like this kitchen banister.
Yeah.
And my wife's in China, so they all have this like hot water cooker where all you do is like push a button and the electric connect turns it on and makes it boil. He loves it because when you turn it on, it turns a blue light. So he keeps trying to climb up and touch the light. He doesn't understand that it will burn his hand.
Yeah.
But what I was speaking to Jordan M about and the alleged, I guess I should say, Jordan M. Right? Like, somebody was insulting Jews on Veli's channel in a way, right? And Jordan M said, "Is being Jewish an insult?" And I said, "What's Islam's position on Jews?" And he said, "They're people of the book." So then I gave him 98:6 of the Quran. They are the worst of creatures, the ones who do not believe, from the people of the book, and the polytheists, may they will burn in hellfire. Now, and he said, "Are you claiming that this is about all Jews?" And this is what I did with Andalusia Project too. Do you know who he is? He goes by the name Azadullah Ali now. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I'm not sure. Is he one of the Dawa cult members?
Yeah, he goes on to he is really upset that it won't let him climb this. He goes on to, like, he was on Hamza's Den just Friday, but he used to go by Andalusia Project, and now he goes by Asadullah Ali. But anyway,
okay, yeah.
So I used the same strategy with Jordan M tonight. I said, well, according to the tafsir, credited to Ibn Abbas, this verse was revealed to the people who broke a treaty with Muhammad and the Muslims. And he said, well, there you go. There's your answer. It's not all Jews. And I said, well, the thing is, though, you're not using Ibn Abbas's historical reasoning for the verse by the noon. You know, the verse of the Quran where Allah swears by the noon, which is by the whale, by the fish.
Hey, why so religious?
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to ask a few questions about why so religious.
But I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But I will answer your questions. I'm not trying to divert from answering anything, but I'm in the middle of explaining a conversation. I'm not trying to be rude. So I said that to him. I said, the strange thing is, it's the same isnads that so Ibn Abbas says in his tafsir, and in Al-Tabri, he mentions this with the same isnads that is used for the Jewish people breaking the treaty. He explains that the verse of by the noon is that the earth is on a whale's back that is swimming through an ocean. Now, the question was, why don't you use Ibn Abbas to explain that, but you'll use him to explain this verse about breaking a treaty? The first thing Jordan M, the alleged Jordan M, did was try to say that it was a Shia source. I said, well, that's weird because it's in Tabri, it's in Sunni source material. So can you explain that? And then he said, well, okay, it's not Shia. I just looked it up. So I asked him, I said, why was that your apologetic go-to? That when there's something that like that kind of like sets you off on Islam, all of a sudden you say that it's Shia. Do you get what I mean by that, reactionary?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's a common deflection between Muslims. If they don't know something, Sunni Muslims, if they don't know something, they'll just be like, "Oh, that's Shia." And then
okay, I get you. Yeah.
And then that's supposed to just end the conversation. So I just asked a simple question that was like, "Can you provide me the Shia source? And if it's Shia, why is it in Tabri and Sunni sources?" And then he typed in, "Yes, it is Sahih, because it is Sahih, this source." But I don't know. I just think it's funny. So, what was your question, ma'am, or reactionary? What do you want to say?
No, go ahead, Claire. Please ask your question.
Thank you. I'm just trying to find out your religious position. Why so religious? You're always demonstrating your religious knowledge, but you have an irreligious name.
I don't believe. No, why so religious would not be a religious name, right? That's like the irony of it is like I'm questioning why so religious to anybody that I speak to.
So you are questioning people's faith. So you're trolling them, right?
Not so much trolling, like I'm presenting, like, one thing is I don't like people who speak about a religion falsely, who try to teach it when it's not true.
So you're saying Islam is not true?
Well, I do hold that opinion that it's not true, but what I said is that when people are talking about the religion or teaching the religions to others, that they're not teaching it the way that the religion is supposed to be taught. And that goes from Judaism to Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, Hinduism, all of these. I just have a problem with people trying to not present the religion the way that it is.
So what makes you such a religious authority on all these religions that you don't believe in?
So, I've never said that I'm an authority, but it is definitely true that I have knowledge of various religions through studying but just because you don't believe in a religion does not mean that you can't learn it from a person. Like, people go to college, right? And they go to theology classes, and the professor or the doctor may not even believe in that religion, but they still have the source material to teach it.
But who are you to say what's correctly taught or not?
Well, I mean, it's very easy, right? Like with Luton the other night, a couple of months back, he tried to say that that in Islam, the penalty for all rape, is execution. So then I challenged him about virgins raping people in Islam, and he said yes, execution. When you can point to hadiths that mention that that's not the case, and you can point to like scholars, like scholarship writings inside of like Islam Q&A that also say it's not true, that's not the opinion, that it's lashing.
Well, I guess it's not settled because there's so many schools of Sharia.
No, it is settled. It is settled.
Right. So the penalty for rape is death, is it?
No, notice I mentioned that for virgins is a different penalty.
Okay, well, I'm, obviously not knowledgeable about the penalty for these sexual offences, but you seem to enjoy showing off your knowledge, and so your shtick is basically to tell people who believe in their religion that they're wrong.
No, it's to show what the religion actually teaches, as opposed to them claiming online that what they're saying is true about their religion.
But you have no authority because you don't.
Well, I mean, if you want to go back, when did authority originally arise?
Well, the authority of somebody who claims to be an Islamic scholar would be, well, his status as an Islamic scholar.
When is the first one? Can you tell me when the first, and what were their credentials?
The first, well, I don't know. But, you don't seem to be an authority on Islam.
So,
or even if you have greater knowledge, your avatar and your manners, suggest that you're, not serious about it.
So my avatar is actually a serious avatar. If you knew
what is it supposed to be?
If you knew anything about philosophy, you would know that that's Diogenes of Sinope, and that he used to travel around Greece in the daytime with a lantern that was lit, and would say that he's looking for an honest man. Now, I put a Quran in there because the whole point is, and I could have done Bible, I could have done Torah, whatever, the Bhagavad Gita. But the point is, I'm looking for people who are being honest about their religion.
So
Now, when you
basically,
speak about when you speak about my manners, um, the way that people speak to me or present themselves to me is the way that I in return speak to them. Like that's the reason reactionary and he gets criticized from other Muslims about us having like a general acquaintance or even like a friendship in a way, because you know they speak ill towards me, I speak ill towards them. I treat people the way they treat me. That's just the way it is.
okay, but we're trying to find out, you know, what is your purpose? I mean, usually people, you know, some people want attention and they don't care how they get it. And some people have a message to propagate, and some people do it because they're bored or lonely. And we're just trying to work out, you know, what you're trying to do.
So I've already answered that.
Okay, so you just basically go around undermining Muslims who think they know their religion, and you're saying, no, 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 you know better than they do.
No,
And they don't like you.
Notice I'm allegedly, by your words, undermining their religion. But what I'm doing is whenever a Muslim pops onto a panel and tries to say things that are not being taught through the majority, the consensus, the ish jihad, I will address it. And I do the same thing with Christians. I do the same things with like that's the reason Raj is after me for the past couple of weeks is because I brought it on to Sikhism. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't play sides.
So you're an atheist?
Yes.
But you make a point of studying people's religion in order to correct them in their
Well,
understanding of it.
firstly, I
That is
like
your
studying.
shtick.
Firstly, I like studying belief systems. I have ever since I was a child. So I don't understand why you're going to try to make an argument that because an atheist learns about a religion that there is something unique there or different.
Well, I really just want to find out what you think you're doing. That's all. I mean, does your authority get accepted by people, or do you just enjoy antagonizing people?
Well, I mean, if even reactionary and Abba Aisha said that if I take my shahada, I'll be an asset to Islam, to the Ummah, I guess you would say, like because like I do have various knowledge of the religions. So I'm not saying that I'm always right in the things that I say, you know, because when you're on a panel and like 3 or 4 people are going after you at a time, you're bound to make mistakes. But when
Right.
it's a one-on-one conversation, I can pretty much just off the top of my head say hadiths or Quran verses that are relevant. So I can do that with Christianity or various religions. So
Mm. So which religion do you think is the most ridiculous?
probably Christianity. Well, no, well, Sikhism. Now that I've been reading more about Sikhism, and I haven't done it in a few years, but I've been reading up on it. It's really ridiculous. Like the concept that there's a creator god who creates other gods to rule over various worlds, and then those gods pray to that god, and that humans believe like for Vishnu as a creator god for millennia, and then it took only until 500 years ago for this creator god to finally come through and be like, oh no, all that was wrong. Those gods do exist, but they're not the creator god. The real creator god created them so that they could rule over the world. That to me is rather ridiculous.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that. I mean, for a moment, I thought you were talking about Mormonism.
No, I'm talking about Sikhism.
Oh
Now,
right. Does
Mormonism.
Mormonism have a similar belief of gods or something? Or
Now,
is it panic?
you're
Oh dear.
upset. He's upset. Daddy won't let you climb. So wait, Mormonism. I've read the first 3 books of Mormonism. Not the whole book.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as I know about Mormonism, the truth is to them that the truth is in their view that that Jesus came down and taught various people. And hold on a second, I'm trying to deal with my son. He's really trying to climb tonight. I don't understand. But so one of the things they believe in is that there was what's his name? Nephi. Okay, Nephi is a person who wrote down on golden tablets the history of truth from God, and that what's his name? Joseph Smith found these using a seer stone, translated them from inside of a dark hat.
Yeah,
Crazy. It is crazy. It is really stupid. But I would still say Sikhism is even more ridiculous.
Isn't it monotheism, Sikhism, or not?
Well,
Technically,
by definition, monotheism is the belief of one God. Now, philosophical definition, like if you do monotheism search and on Google, and then you also add plato.stanford.edu, that is
oh
the
yes, I know.
that's the philosophical explanation of various things. And in the philosophical definition, they include Hinduism as a way of being monotheistic, because there is one creator God, and then it creates other gods. But it even mentions later at the bottom how this is a problem philosophically for the concept of monotheism, because if something is allegedly one true God, then it leads to the belief of multiple gods as opposed to just one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which religion do you think is most harmonious with truth and logic?
I don't think
Would you
there is
say?
one that I've
Oh,
come
I thought you
across.
might say Islam because
No, I
you're
don't. But
always.
no,
You don't think so? Why not?
no, definitely not.
What's wrong with Islam then? I mean, or maybe you have a favorite, least ridiculous religion.
Because what is said in the Quran is just not true.
What? What do you think is not true in the Quran?
It's not that what I think is what about is proven or has been proven cannot be true.
Would you like to cite a few verses so we know which bits of the Quran are most ridiculous in your view?
I never said ridiculous. You're trying to put a stipulation on me.
Okay, well, I mean, or unbelievable.
Just because something is wrong doesn't make it ridiculous.
Okay, or wrong, as you say.
So, if you want to go through the argument that I would bring up, and this is a real reason that it can't be true. Does Allah misguide Muslims in the belief of truth?
Well, there is a verse that says Allah is a great deceiver.
But I'm asking you, does Allah deceive Muslims in the truth?
I think the idea is that he only deceives those who are infidels.
But I'm asking you, does Allah or would Allah deceive Muslims about the truth as far as like the universe or Islam as it presents itself?
I suppose it would be the truth would be in the Quran, the truth
All
of
right.
whatever.
So let's go down this road. Would also that mean that in a Sahih Hadith, whatever Muhammad says would also have to be true if it's regarding something that is taught in Islam and presents itself as fact?
I think you'll have to give me an example because I can't really agree or
I just
disagree.
want to. Okay, so what? Before I give my example, I want to know what the standards are that you're gonna apply to this conversation, such as could the Sahaba be wrong about what is universally true if they were taught by Muhammad and Allah during the time of the Quran's revelation? Could they not have truth about the way the universe works?
Well, the Sahaba were mortal and fallible men, so we expect them to make mistakes from time to time.
But if Allah says the same thing, and then Muhammad says the same thing, and then they believe that thing, and it is taught as a universal truth, that would mean it's wrong, right?
Oh, I don't know. These examples are so abstract. I mean, what is your point?
So, in the Quran, 67, 3 through 4, do you want to get your Quran out and look at it?
67,
3 through 4.
That's chapter 67.
Surah 67, ayah 3 through 4.
It says, say, consider this: if your water were to sink into the earth, then who else could bring you flowing water? Say, have you considered if your water was to become sunken into the earth, then who would bring you flowing water? I have no idea what. This is 67, 30, verse 30.
I said 3 through 4.
Okay.
Reactionary, you still there?
He is the one who created 7 heavens, one above the other. You will never see any imperfection in the creation of the most compassionate. So look again. Do you see any flaws? And then verse 4 says, then look again, and again your sight will return frustrated and weary. Then return your vision twice again. Your vision will return to you humbled while it is fatigued. I'm afraid this is not a kind of verse that I would be interested in.
Well, that doesn't matter, right? It's not about your interest. You're asking me a question.
I just wouldn't bother, arguing about anything like this.
So, also there's a hadith, there's multiple hadiths where Muhammad says, do not, during prayer, do not turn your gaze or your sight to the sky, otherwise it will not return to you.
So what?
And then in the in Kathir, qtafsir.com, which is Ibn Kathir's works, the explanation for this verse is that sight does return to a person's eye.
So what?
Do you believe that?
I don't even know what the hell it means.
Do you believe that sight returns to a person's eye?
Well, I believe people can see and they go blind and the vision returns. Is that what you mean?
How does sight work?
Oh, this is some sort of biology lesson. I mean, this is completely irrelevant and actually totally uninteresting to me. So if you want to, show
If it's
off about
uninteresting to you, then why are you asking me these questions just for
well,
me
I'm just
to
trying
give
to
you?
work out
No,
what
no,
you're trying to do. It
So
seems very
notice
tedious.
notice you're asking questions, and then when I bring forth a reason, you just say, "Oh, it's tedious. It's unimportant
Yeah,
to
I
me."
don't know what your reason is. I mean, you
I
bring up
asked
some
you a
verse about
specific.
looking at the
Notice you don't want
sky.
to. Notice I've answered every question, but
Well,
you
you're
won't
just
even
a
answer.
bore,
You
aren't
won't
you?
even.
You're just
You
a
won't even
bore.
answer. Notice now she has to
You
talk
are
about
just
me
a
instead of
bore.
focusing on the question.
Yeah, you
She
are just a bore.
so notice she
You have
talks.
nothing to say other than to show off your knowledge. You're
Reactionary.
some
Why don't you get
kind
her
of
to answer the
intellectual
question? Why don't you
narcissist.
get her to answer the question? She's been asking me
I've already
questions I've
told
been
you
answering.
I don't
No, you
know
don't.
and I don't care.
So I'm asking you, is sight something that returns to the person?
I don't even know what the fuck it means.
Oh my gosh, dude. Are you even Muslim?
No, I'm not.
Then what the fuck are you asking me for, dude? You just wasted 10
Why
minutes
do you
of this
call me
conversation.
dude? I'm
I'm
not
sorry
your
for I'm
dude.
sorry
I'm
for
not
cussing.
your
I'm
dude.
sorry for cussing, reactionary, but that really makes me like
Well,
agitated, dude.
I'm no different than
This
you
whole
then.
time,
I'm no
this whole
different
time
than
she's
you.
asking me about Islam, and she's not even a Muslim.
Yeah,
She
but
was
I'm
like,
no
"What,
different than
Well,
you.
dude?
that's the
You are
same as you,
petty.
Isa. That's what you do.
No,
But I don't
But
waste
You ask about
people's
Islam
time
and you're not
with
Muslim.
my boring
reactionary,
shit.
reactionary. There's a difference, right? There's a difference, though.
I'm not
She's
a
no
coming
bore
on
difference.
like
here.
you. I'm not a
No,
bore. I have
she's
a point.
Notice. All she can do is attack me personally instead of
Yeah,
answer
because
any
you're a
questions.
fucking
You can't.
bore
You
and you
can't
have
answer
no
any
point.
questions. You
So
can't
why
answer
don't you?
any
Yeah,
questions.
because I'm not interested in your answer about seven heavens and whether vision can return. I'm interested in the laws and the principles of the Quran, and you always choose these obscure, boring verses and spout
Dude,
your
once
verbal
again, you have
diarrhea
not
about
said
it.
anything. You have not said anything of
Well,
importance.
at least I've questioned the point of what you're trying to do.
You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything other than ask questions. You
Well,
can't
I'm
answer
just saying
one.
that you're a
You can't
bore,
answer
that
anything.
the
You
verses you choose
can't
to
answer
focus on have
anything.
no relevance, and you're a bore.
You don't know if they don't have relevance. You're not even a
Well,
Muslim.
I mean, who cares about vision returning? I mean, who cares?
So then, if who cares, then why are you questioning me about it?
Well,
if I'm so boring, why are you
okay,
on this
I'll
panel?
tell you why I
If I'm
couldn't.
so boring, why are you on
Yeah,
this
because I was
panel
just working out what the hell you
consistently?
think you're trying to do. I'm
Why are
working
you
out
on this
trying to.
panel consistently asking me questions if I'm so boring?
Well, because I wanted to work out what you think
So
you're trying to do.
Notice
So
I
I
asked you a
think you're
specific
just some sort of
question.
intellectual
Notice I asked you.
narcissist and a bore with
Notice
nothing to
I asked
add
a
other than
specific
to show off
question.
your knowledge about
I
pointless
asked a
things and the
specific
most boring
question.
verses of the
I
Quran.
asked you a specific question. If I'm
Yeah, I
so
don't know, and
boring,
I don't care about your
why are
boring
you on?
question
Why are you?
about vision and
Why?
whatever.
No. Why are you on this panel questioning me if I'm so boring?
Well, because I'm trying to find out what you're about, and
I didn't know that
now
people.
I've
I didn't
discovered
know
that
that
you're a
people.
boring
I
bore
didn't know that
with
people
no point at all
investigate.
other than to take people's
I
take
didn't
up
know that
people's
people
time.
investigate things that they find are boring. I didn't know
Well,
that until now.
I guess I'm interested in personality types.
So you're interesting and boring stuff to you. Things you find boring
I'm
or what
interested
interests you.
in mental illness and narcissism and bores who like to bore on about irrelevant, boring things because they
Notice
like
this
the sound
woman
of
has
their own
not brought.
voices.
This woman has not brought anything. All she's done is try to attack me personally.
Yeah, because you're a bore,
But that's the thing.
and you have nothing to it's not like you're even arguing about anything that's of interest to anybody.
Can I just, I guess, from my observation, Claire jumped on and she started asking you questions that she was actually typing in the chat. Why so? I think she was trying to find out what you're about. Like, what's your remit here? Why are you asking questions? Why do you study Islam? That's really what she was trying to understand. And I don't think you've answered that. Claire, do you think he's answered that?
I have answered that. Since I was a
think
child, I found religions interesting. It's just like I've read the whole Nag Hammadi library and the Dead Sea Scrolls, and those aren't even practiced religious beliefs anymore. But I still like learning about it. So that's the thing here. You know, like, I have answered it. She hasn't answered one thing. And then all she does.
One second. Why so, Claire? Were you happy with that answer? Did that satisfy you, or did you have a follow-up?
Well, I worked out that he likes to hear the sound of his own voice, and he thinks that he has authority.
Once again, just talking about me personally, not addressing anything, just talking about me personally.
Yes, I am talking about you.
We might as well just have Greg Jr. on this channel right now, reactionary. Like, what's the difference from him and her when they can't even bring arguments? All they do is talk about the person.
Well, I said I was interested in you as a person and why you do what you do.
So you're interested in boring people. You said that I am boring, and that interests you.
I'm interested in why people do what they do, and I couldn't work out why you were doing what you were doing. But then I concluded that you are an intellectual narcissist who likes to hear the sound of your own voice, but you have nothing to offer, and you like wasting people's time.
Thank you for your diagnosis.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
I'll take that into account the next time I give a shit about what you say. Sorry for cursing, reactionary.
Oh gosh. So yeah. So Claire, I think you were interested in the personality of Waiso. That's why you asked the question. You wanted to find out what's caused his interest in Islam. And based on his responses to you, you've come up with your
my diagnosis. Yes.
Diagnosis, yeah.
Because the first time I heard him, he just rambled on and on and on about the hadith and you know, because of his American
question. Ask reactionary if what I say is rambling or if it is what is taught in Islam. Because there would be a difference, right? Rambling would be that I am not making a point when I'm speaking about the subject, as opposed to I actually bring the reason why I speak about these hadiths or Quran verses or any religious text that I speak about. I bring the reasoning that I bring it up. So what you said,
I don't know if anybody absorbs it because you're such a bore.
How are you going to say that nobody absorbs it when just the other day reactionary agreed with me about when I spoke about the hadith of the person who was chased by a Muslim and then he killed the guy after he announced the Shahada and he spoke to Muhammad. He agreed with me about the premise of that hadith. And now you're saying that because I'm boring, nobody ever listens to me or can learn from what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. You need to look in the mirror right now, okay? If you have a mirror in your house, just take your phone with you, look in it, and say everything that you said about me while you're facing yourself. Do that,
I'm not a bore.
You are a bore. And your voice is pretentious. You like
I can't help the way I speak. I find your voice very annoying.
Yeah, but I didn't say it's annoying. I said it's pretentious.
I don't mind. When you speak, be pretentious. I have a point while you don't.
When you speak, you think you have a point. All your points.
Yes, of course I do. I always have a point.
Here's the point that you made tonight. I think Why So Religious is boring, but I find him interesting. That was your point.
Somebody agrees with me. They think you're a narcissistic psychopath.
So what? So what?
And a bore.
So what?
That's okay. I mean, I've made my point. So thank you.
You actually believe you made a point. You actually believe
I made a point that you're a bore and a narcissist.
and that you find me interesting.
As a
So
personality type, yes.
You find me interesting.
Yeah, because as a personality
as a
type, I mean, why
narcissist.
don't you use your intelligence to good purpose instead of just fucking around,
So
boring people to death? I mean, why?
This woman thinks that she made a point.
Yeah, I made a point about you with your knowledge.
So she
just
made
concentrating on the most boring verses that have no point.
So she made a point in her mind, while the whole time she said things that she attributed things to me that I've never said about myself. And then she also tries to diagnose me as if she has some fucking medical degree. I apologize. But this woman is just ridiculous, dude. I can't believe that I got baited by you. You're on here with the Niqab avatar. So I start speaking about Islam when you bring it up, and then you're like, "Well, I'm not even Muslim." You're ridiculous.
I see the point of Islam. I answered all your questions, and I don't concentrate on boring verses that have nothing to do with the law.
I answered all of your questions, and you couldn't even answer one of mine.
Yeah, because it's something nonsensical about the vision returning.
Do you realize how stupid that makes you look?
I don't care.
Okay. There we go. Pretentious. That's pretentious.
How is that pretentious?
Because you will come on and try to act like you're beating somebody, but you don't even care about the fact that you can't answer a question. That is pretentious.
But your question is irrelevant and nonsensical and unimportant.
Do you know the definition or the similes of pretentious?
I'm pretending to be something I'm not. I'm certainly not pretending.
That's not pretentious.
Great scholar like you. I mean, why learn detail of so much hadith and then just have nothing interesting to say?
Do you realize how dumb this bitch is? She just thought.
Hey, why so? Allow that. Apologize, please. Apologize.
Okay. Do you realize how dumb this woman is? She just thought that because the beginning of the word sounds like pretend, she said, well, it's like pretending like you know something as a definition. She doesn't even understand the definition of
okay, well, define a pretentious for us then. Pretentious, as far as I understand it, is to pretend to be something you're not.
That's
usually
not
to be of great learning. Well, you're not very popular around here. I mean, I know I'm not that popular, but
it doesn't matter.
You're even less popular than I am.
Now, look at this fallacy. She's going by the ad populus fallacy that, oh, well, you're not popular, so nothing you say is important or it doesn't matter. Like, it can't be true. Look at this woman.
No, I didn't say that. To be fair, I didn't say that.
This woman is an idiot. She's like, oh, well, you're not popular. You're less popular than me. Like, what the hell does that have anything to do with the conversation? Well, because
you have been obviously annoying a lot of people.
What does this have to do with the conversation about you being more popular than me?
Well, obviously, I'd like to be more popular than you.
What does that mean? What relevance does that have to any conversation other than somebody saying I'm more popular than you?
Well, I'm more popular, I'm more interesting than you, and I get more engagement on the topics, on the verses in the Quran that I choose to focus on, and not boring stuff like, the perfect sky or whatever it is that you like.
Notice, she didn't even listen to what my argument is, and now she's trying to claim what my argument was.
What is your argument? What is your argument?
I have to explain it to you again?
Yes.
Are you really that stupid, or do you just not pay attention?
Well,
do you really not pay attention?
Difficulty.
Why so much name calling?
Why so boring?
Dude, she's the one who. Wait. Reactionary. She's the one who started with the name calling, right? Saying that I was boring. She's saying that I annoy people. That I'm annoyance to people. Even more words I can't even off the top of my head remember. I took it for a few minutes. I took what she was saying for a few minutes. But this woman is stupid. She even thought that because the beginning of the word pretentious sounds like pretend. Pretentious doesn't even have a D in it. She just assumed that it means to pretend you are something that you're not.
Okay,
And
what's the meaning of it then? Correct me.
No, wait. I'm so boring and I'm not an authority. So why should I try to teach you what definition of pretentious? I'm not an
Well,
authority on.
to educate the people in the chat.
Even by your own admission, I'm not an authority on anything. So why should I try to teach you about this word? Why can't you look
You
it up?
don't have to teach me, but presumably you have something to say that is true.
So if I give you the definition of the word, that would be me teaching you what the word means. Now that, and then in your mind somehow, because somebody teaches somebody about something, that makes them an authority. So I'm not going to play this game where you think in your own mind, this cross-wired circuitry that you have in your brain, that you think that, oh, well, Wiseau taught me the word of pretentious and the meaning of it. That means he thinks he's an authority on this topic. That's how you would actually think. That is you. This is me diagnosing you by your own words, right? Not by your actions, by the way that you speak and the things that you have said.
So what does pretentious mean then? How did I get the definition wrong?
Is it impossible for you to look it up? Is that like, because if it is impossible,
since you know the correct definition, I don't need to look it up.
If it is possible for you to look it up, then just look it up. If it's not, then I'm more than willing to help you.
You know the correct definition, and we await your answer.
If you don't have the ability to look it up, I will help you.
I don't want to look it up. I want to hear it from you.
I have a dictionary in my house. Google has multiple dictionaries.
No, but you've already said that my definition is wrong. That pretentious is not somebody pretending to be something they're not. So what is it? Off the top of your head.
Why are you asking me to be an authority now? Earlier, you were condemning
Don't you want
me.
to be an authority?
No. Earlier, you were condemning me, claiming that I claim myself as an authority.
So I'm just letting you be what you want to be, an authority.
And now you're wanting me to be an authority. I don't understand your mindset.
Well, because if you're saying that I was wrong about the definition of a word, then I want to hear your definition of the word.
It's obvious that you were wrong because even Reactionary laughed at you.
Okay. Well,
so
then tell me the correct definition of pretentious.
Do you believe that if you use the correct definition, that Reactionary would have laughed at your definition?
Well, perhaps he was just generally amused. I don't know, but perhaps he will tell us. Why don't you tell us the correct definition of pretentious? Since you say that I got it wrong.
Because I'm not an authority figure according to you. So
okay,
I don't
so
want to
you can't even
I don't want
back up your assertion that I was wrong.
So wait.
Must be right.
Here's the thing. When you start answering my questions, I'll start answering your questions again. Don't think that this is a one-way street, woman. Like you don't run over me, dude. You don't. You don't get to listen, woman. Listen, woman.
That so many men call me dude. It's not right. I think you're misgendering me. You know.
I don't care about your gender. I don't care what you think about anything because you've obviously proven that you are weak-minded. You think that you can come on here and ask me questions, and then you don't have to respond to any question.
Well, I've already told you I didn't understand
and that you're because I'm boring and you're more popular. Like that's some kind of real response. You know, honestly, you would have been better off just standing in front of the stove tonight and telling me what time it was instead of coming over here and wasting my time talking to you.
Well, I think I've made my point. So,
and that's the sad part.
My questions
that's the sad part. Is that you believe you made the point.
Able to do so.
That's the sad part is that you think you made a point. Like all you did was make personal attacks against me and did not make a point. And then you kept asking me questions just so that you could be like, oh, well, I don't believe that's true. You're boring. Because you're boring, I don't believe it. You're annoying. I don't believe it. You're not an authority.
Well, you have annoyed a lot of people.
You are weak. You are weak. You understand. You are weak. You have not answered one question put forth to you, but you continuously have questions. You understand that? That is a weak position.
I'm a questioning sort of person.
Do you understand that that is a weak position?
What,
That
to ask
you
questions? Isn't
and
that
not
the
no.
philosophical position
Notice
to ask
notice
questions?
notice
Socrates
she
asked
only tried.
lots of questions.
Notice this woman only tried to use half of the position, right? That she said, "Oh, what? It's weak because I ask questions." No, the second half is that you won't answer questions.
I've already told you I
That's
don't
what makes you
understand
weak.
your nonsensical question, so I can't answer it. I've already admitted that I don't know the answer.
I've given you verses, I've given you hadiths, I've given you source material to respond to you, and I've asked you a question about sight. How does it work? You won't even answer how sight
Well,
works.
I've told you, I can't remember all my lessons in biology about, the lens and the
Who's talking about biology?
sort of thing. So, I mean, what are you asking me then about sight and vision
How
and
does it
whatever?
work?
Well, I don't know.
Okay,
I've admitted it.
Hey,
I don't know.
Congratulations, you don't know. So then don't say that my argument is nonsensical if you don't even know what I'm talking about. That
So
makes
why
no
is it
sense.
important? What is the point you're trying
So
to
wait.
make about us?
Why is it important to this is a person who doesn't even understand how sight works when my argument is based off sight, saying why is it important?
Okay, well tell us your point then.
Woman, have you ever spoken to anybody in a reasonable manner?
Yes, of course I have.
Okay, so you have. Then you would understand that what you're doing now makes no sense. That what you're doing is you're questioning me and saying that my position is nonsensical when you don't even know how to explain my position. You don't even know.
Tell us your position
then. My gosh, dude. I've already told you, I'm not answering anything you say because you have not answered anything I asked.
I've told you I can't. I don't understand your question.
The only thing you have answered is that I don't know. And you think that that's sufficient.
So you think you won. So tell us how you think you won it.
You think that me answering 10 plus questions from you is the equivalent with you answering one question from me and just the answer is I don't know. You think that's an equivalent conversation?
Okay, you won the argument. Okay, fine. But can you tell us what the answer to the question that I can't answer is? And
I've already told you, woman, I'm not answering anything from you.
So you're wasting everybody's time. You're just being a.
You're the one. Do you see this projection that this woman is trying to put onto me? She is the one wasting time by asking questions.
Well, I'm asking you to make your point.
No. This woman is the one wasting time. She is asking questions, doesn't even understand the position, doesn't even understand the way that sight works in my position, and then is like, well, I got a couple more questions. I got a couple of more things for you. You're ridiculous, woman.
Well, maybe you need to go and look after your son.
You are better off.
Maybe you're upsetting him with your shouting at me.
You are better off with a needle and thread than a YouTube account.
Poor kid. Okay, I'll go now so you can.
You can stay clear. That's right.
Okay.
So it all came out, bitch, woman, and needle and thread.
Yeah. I also said that she should stand in front of the stove and tell me what time it is.
Oh, gosh.
Because I do believe that this woman is stupid. I do believe that. She has not made one point. She asks tons of questions, refuses to answer it, and then just talks about me personally. So what did I say earlier when she talked about my manners? I said, when people come at me, the way they come at me is the way I come at them. So I took a couple of minutes of her talking about me being a narcissist, me being sounding my own voice, saying that I claim to be an authority. So she started it, and then I just gave it to her. I don't care about it.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, Claire. come back anytime. And, yeah, interesting. So you took exception to her ad hominems. Is that the issue?
Yes. Like, you notice, I answered every question that she asked, from Mormonism, what do I believe is the most ridiculous religion, which do I think is the most in line to truth or whatever. I answered all these questions, but then she started with the ad hominems, not me, dude. Rewind the video.
Yeah, one thing I found funny though is that you didn't understand why she might be asking you questions about Islam.
You're saying I didn't understand why she's asking me questions about Islam?
Yeah, you found it unusual. Not even unusual. There's another word I can't think of right now. That the fact that she was asking questions about Islam and she's not even a Muslim.
No. I don't have a problem with that. The point was that she was wasting time talking about a religion that she doesn't believe, asking me questions that I don't even believe in the religion. But then she starts saying that I believe that I'm an authority. She starts saying that I don't teach anybody, that nobody should listen to me, that I'm annoying, I'm boring. That's the issue I had. I don't have an issue talking to a non-Muslim about Islam, but when you start trying to make these assertions about me as if you know me, like, and that's one thing she also said, right? The first time I heard you, notice it's not, she hasn't gone to my channel and seen that I've spoken about various religions or whatever. She wants to focus on, like a lot of people do, saying, oh, he only talks about Islam. He only does this or that. I'm on a Muslim channel. Of course I'm going to speak about Islam. And when I was on Sir Faz's channel, and then Abu Aisha asked me to speak about Sikhism, I spoke about Sikhism. I'll speak about anything that is asked of me. But that woman did not speak about anything I asked her about. That's what pissed me off, dude.
Wow.
And notice when you and I were talking, she came in and she just like, oh, I have a couple of questions I want to ask. I was like, okay, I'm in the middle of a conversation. Yeah, but I just want to, okay, well, hold on a second. All you want to do is ask me personal stuff when reactionary are talking about something. That you see, that was the thing. She was trying to divert.
Yeah, well, she explained what she was doing. Claire said that she was intrigued as to your personality. She wanted to know why you're doing what you're doing.
And
in other words,
if she is
being a non-Muslim,
chat, I'm not reading it. I'm not reading the chat right now, so I don't know if those were her questions, but she said they were. If I was reading chat, of course I would address them.
No, I'm talking about what she said. She said that the reason she was asking you those questions, she's intrigued by your personality. She wanted to know why you're asking questions about Islam and not being a Muslim. And then based on your answers, she tried to diagnose you. Perhaps she has a clinical background.
Notice the first thing that she did when she came on here was ask me not how you're phrasing it. She said, what makes you an authority? That was her direct words. Now, I've never claimed to be an authority. And I told her what I like to do, which is learn religions. And then when people say things that are not true about the religion, I do like to correct it as far as what the religion is being taught, because I think that is a big problem, not only in Islam, but in Christianity and Judaism, Sikhism, whatever. People will try to say things about the religion that aren't true to just try to get people to believe it. Now, and that's an issue with this woman. You get what I'm saying? Like, she's just trying to make it personal because she says I'm boring, but I'm interested in you. Like, doesn't that seem weird? That somebody is like, that person is boring, but I'm so interested in them.
Yeah, I think she found your explanations boring. That's what she meant. But,
Coming from a person
yeah,
who can't-
I'm trying to, you know, be
No, I understand.
play the devil's
or
advocate
what-
here. That's all.
Yeah, but it's funny how you're saying like my explanations. The woman can't even explain what pretentious is. Like, come on, dude. Like, that just makes no sense. You know, like, but she can diagnose me. Okay, whatever, dude.
There's contentious as well. What's the difference between pretentious and contentious?
Are you saying what's the difference? Hello?
Yeah, what's the difference?
I'm pretty sure she's listening. I don't want to give her the satisfaction of telling you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just being honest. That woman, I don't like her. So
I haven't seen you get so triggered ever. I don't think.
I mean, here's the thing, man. It's like I said, dude. I treat people the way they treat me, dude. So she treated me a certain way. I took it for a couple of moments, thinking that maybe she would change her attitude, and then she just dug a deeper hole for herself in my mind. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. So the thing that really upset you from her was the name calling, or what? What was the thing that really pressed you?
I tried to be civil. Like, even Abaisha and I have had times where when we both spoke to each other, right, we were very contentious towards each other, like calling each other's names or whatever. But then the person closed down. Sir Foz closed down his stream, and we were in the back chat just talking to each other, and we both agreed, hey, let's just talk about religion or whatever, and then we don't have to resort to name calling, and we don't have to do ad hominems. And ever since then, he and I can just get along. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's the reason, just like I said the other day, man, when I went on to Zobaida's channel the other day, and you were on there with Tyrone Poole, what did I do, man? The first thing I did was say, thank you for having me. I said my piece, and then when I got off there, I said, reactionary, be safe. Zobaida, thank you for having me. Because she didn't attack me personally like she normally does. You know what I'm saying? Now,
you sure? I can't remember a time where she hasn't said to you something quite rude.
So I bring it to her.
Yeah.
And the other day when she was on your panel, I wasn't trying to like fire shots. I was giving my personal opinion about the times I've talked to her and I have listened to her, which is I think she is one of the least knowledgeable Muslims on YouTube that I've come across. Like, she just constantly says things that are not true about Islam. And then when you bring it to her and like educated guest who records videos and then posts them on his channel, he had multiple videos of her on her channel talking. But then when he posted a video of me on her panel challenging her, she struck it. That tells you that she understands the weakness. Like, she has a new channel. Educated Guess is a female. She has a new channel, and right now on there's like 3 videos with Zobaida from her channel on there. Still hasn't struck that channel, but she knows it exists. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever spoken to Educated Guess?
Like voice to
voice? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I would like to. I think that they're an interesting person.
Yeah.
I don't know much about her, but other than her video, I mean, back when she's
now cognitive dissident now, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the new name.
Now everybody gonna go flag her channel, and it's gonna go down again.
Oh, my bad. So I thought everyone knew.
But
some good content there, by the way.
Yeah, I agree, and you know,
although it's other people's content, but at least it's archived. You know. People remove everything.
And like back when she was Analyzed Dunya, and she would do the mixing, like videos with music, and like she would also do like
Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah, she would do a lot of editing. You know, I think now she realizes that you know, it's a waste of time because their channel is just gonna get struck. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. Like, when Educated Guest posted the live stream, it was about 35 to 38 minutes of me on Zobeida's channel challenging her, and then she called for striking it. I even asked Zobeida, if you remember the last time she was live streaming and I was in the chat, she even read my chat. I said, "Did you strike it under hate speech?" And she said, "Shut up." So she you know, she didn't strike it as copyright because YouTube is not gonna flag somebody for, because YouTube is not copyrighted material. You get what I'm saying? Like, you are not, your live stream is not copyrighted under reactionary.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, earlier you were talking about the Jordan M channel. There's somebody in the chat called Jordan M. Can you tell if that's the real one or the fake one? It's got a capital M. I think it's a capital J. I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you go to his channel, he changed his. It used to be a lowercase J, and it was I'm sorry, it was a lowercase M with a capital J, and now his channel, he's changed it to a capital J and a capital M. So just
ask him. One.
I would think so. Just ask him what we spoke about earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jordan M, what did Why So Religious and you talk about earlier? And I hate to use myself as third person, especially when it's not even my name, but that's not the arrogance. That's just for him to respond.
It's not narcissistic.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be like that. But no, it's just like the other night people were saying that it was a fake account, and then he popped on the account. He popped on your live stream just like 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh no, that's the fake one. That's the fake one." You know, but that is his avatar. That's the avatar that he created. You know what I mean? There are no, because there's no. He's always had that bird, right? It's like a bird in blocks, kind of like Picasso style, but he's changed it a couple of days ago to. It's a bird, right?
I remember he used to have like he's got his hand on his chin, like pondering in deep thought, sort of.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, and then he had a shark.
Maybe it's not a bird, but it's like a blue circular thing with like a mouth that could be interpreted as a beak with a black thing. But the main thing
the Uyghur thing. It's like a Uyghur symbol.
Yeah. But
oh, Claire is posting the definition of pretentious, I think. I haven't read it. Can you read it for me, please? Because I can't see the screen.
She said it was pretending.
Or behaving as if one is important or deserving of merit, when such is not the case.
Now go back to her original definition. She said it is a person pretending to be something they're not. Now try to apply that to the actual definition. That's the point.
I think she was just trolling you with that comment initially. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been reading the chat, so I don't know what's going on in there.
So big up everyone in the chat, and big up everyone that's watching and listening. Oh gosh. Yeah. What else? So you know somebody called Bro Haji, Weisser?
I don't recall that. Why? What's up?
I don't know. People have been mentioning him to me, but I don't know really much about him.
Bro Haji?
Yeah, he's a Speaker's Corner attendee, and he has opposing opinions to people like Shamsi.
Oh, so that's your second account?
That was a good one. That was pretty quick.
Hey.
I took a moment to catch that.
Yeah, you were silent there for a second. I thought that I just like really made you mad by saying that. Okay,
Or
I'm
maybe you
glad
just doxed me, eh? You finally let the world know that it's me behind the account. No, I'm just joking.
Well, that's not technically doxing, and you know what's funny?
Yeah.
I actually brought this as people are talking about like Raj doxing or Afghan doxing and this and that. I don't know how it is in Europe or England or whatever, Britain, but in America, like 90% of people's names, addresses, and phone numbers are in the phone book. And this is like delivered for free every like 6 or 7 months. How is it? So if I asked them, if I take a screenshot of a person's home address, their name and phone numbers and post it online, but it's from the phone book, which is a public source, is that doxing? I've not gotten a good answer. You know what I'm saying? Like
it is doxing, because what you're missing is the link between the phone book details and the individual's user account on YouTube. So putting them together and presenting them to the world, that's doxing.
So you're claiming if the person uses their real name under their YouTube account, but so that, and they show their face and such, and I do it, it wouldn't be doxing, because it is like they would actually be presenting public information. But if they tried to have a form of anonymity, then it's doxing.
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Okay.
And also,
well, you explained it better than anybody I've asked so far, because it was seriously just like a real question of like, because doxing, the concept of doxing is only a few years old, and it's not really like determined what doxing is. Like people will say, if you post a picture of a park that people have been to, that's doxing.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like, even though it doesn't show the. Go ahead.
If somebody uses their real name, okay, I still wouldn't call that doxing, because there's many people who may have the same name, right? But putting their details, which may be in the phone book, right, but putting them on a public platform and saying this particular individual lives at this address, that can be malicious, right? If the person wanted their personal details published, they would have done so. But a stranger doing it.
The point that I'm trying to get at is like you can opt out of being in the phone book, but most people don't do it because it's just like tedious.
Yeah.
And that's public knowledge that is even free. So if there's public knowledge out there in the public domain, and you just provide that information, I don't know if that classifies as doxing.
Yeah, but look, if you look for my name in the phone book, right, and you look
don't
for,
say
let's say, oh, okay, all right. Let's say you, I was about to say it, but if you look for my name in the phone book, and you find there's 3 people with that name, how do you know which one it is?
So what if you post all 3 of them?
Why would you post it? Is the first question. What's it got to do with you?
Well, I mean, that's not really the question at hand, right? Like now.
Yeah, no, that's why I would ask if I'm in court. If a case comes to me, I'm asking, why did you post it? What was your intention by doing that?
I thought it was humorous. Now, you'd
have to convince a jury, you know, or an objective person that it's humorous.
I'm not. Well,
I get you. Yeah.
You would actually have to prove that. You would have to prove that I don't find it humorous, right? Like.
No, I wouldn't. Because the courts will use an objective standard. So
Yes,
you
but in
take an average
America,
person on the street who's looking on, and would they consider that to be humorous? That's
well,
what
no, no. In America, it's you have to prove intent, right? So if my claim
Yeah.
is that I found it humorous, and yours is that I'm trying to provide ill harm to you, then you would have to prove that.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm asking you what was your intention by posting it. Now, if you say it's humorous, then I would apply an objective standard to determine would an average person consider that to be humorous, right? Because you could say posting that causes you to get good luck, right? But that's your statement. We can measure that using an objective standard.
I don't think, but humor isn't objective. Because that's true, right? It's not objective. It's subjective. It's individual.
I think it is. If it wasn't objective, then you couldn't have comedians selling tickets.
Yeah, but that's the reason some people don't like certain comedians, and they don't like their jokes, but other people do, is because it's subjective. It's not like
not quite. I'll say this. I'll say, yeah, I get your point. The preference for certain types of comedy is subjective, right? But is something humorous? That's objective, because a person who doesn't like that comedy can still explain why it can be considered funny, but it's just not their taste.
But that doesn't. That's still subjective, right? Because you could say about anything that's subjective, like I understand why a person holds this position or that position or feels this way or that way, but I do not
that's an
agree
objective.
with it. No, that's subjective. That's individual. That's just saying that you understand their position. Like I don't. Okay, like
no, that's not subjective.
Okay, look, I don't agree with abortion, but I could subjectively understand reasons why people make for themselves to have an abortion. Now that doesn't mean I even agree with those.
By yourself, you could say that's subjective. When we're looking at an objective standard, we're looking at an average stranger on the road, right, or group of people. Something that would be commonly understood.
So, with the posting of the phone book, 9 out of 10 people say that it isn't humorous. One person does say it's humorous. How does that fit your objective standard?
The objective standard would be that majority would be taken as the objective standard.
So you believe that majority is objective standards?
Yeah, most of the time.
So then that would mean that you agree with various laws against Muslims that you complain about, because they are held by the majority.
No, I don't, because if they go against principles of law, then I don't agree with it.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these don't go against principles of law. Like the other day when we were speaking about bigums, right? And you even presented that it was against the law, or it might be against the law about revoking her status.
It's unconstitutional, yeah.
But that case has not been brought forth to the Supreme Court that's over there in England or Britain or whatever. So your position might not be true. So
the case is still ongoing. That's the thing, right? So I'm sure appeals are underway, and there is a process for appeals. It doesn't go straight to the Supreme Court. It goes through layers.
But what I'm saying is, even after all those appeals and everything, if they decide that it is legal, then what you just said was that you have a subjective opinion.
Look, why so?
And the majority is the objective.
Yeah, as much as we discuss it, this is how the law works. There's something called an objective standard. That's how the law works.
Objective standards would be evidence, right?
No. You don't think? No, because there's a difference between objective objective truth or objective standard in philosophy and in law. They're different. So when you talk about objective truth or whatever it is in philosophy, it means something that is true versus something that is false. You can prove something to be true if it's objective, right? Versus subjective. But in law, it's objective truth is where something is an object you're looking at. So the average person looking at it would see a certain, they would understand something from looking at it that
I don't
everybody
know.
else would also understand.
I think that law in America would be different, because
No, it's
even
the same
like,
in America. It's the
well,
same in
no,
America.
because you would have to, just like with proving slander cases, right? You have to prove that there was negative intent, and that's the reason most people don't try to sue based off of slander. You have to prove that there was negative intent, that somebody said that they are coming after you. And this is with the People versus Larry Flint, right? He went to the Supreme Court based off of he's allowed to make outrageous claims about Jerry Falwell because people would not believe it. If a sane person would not believe it, then he's allowed to say it. So a sane person, if I presented to them, I thought that it was funny to release his phone book information online, because I think it's funny, this question of doxing when it's public domain material of his address, his phone number. I think it's humorous. I find that ironic. You would have to find people, multiple people even by that standard, that would sanely say that that is not ironic in the way that I present it. And you know, I mean, it's something that, once again, has not been to court, right? And it has not been established. This concept of doxing, at least in America, has not been established legally as what the real standard is. So that's the reason I asked the question.
Not sure. I have to look into that in terms of the American law.
Well, as far as I know, it's not. What I'll look into it tonight. Maybe I did say something wrong, but as far as I know, there is not like a legal standing for various forms of doxing. Now, I mean, somebody could say that you're stalking them. I would argue that if you were going to somebody's house and taking pictures of their their house and them entering the house, that is borderline stalking.
Okay. It could even be considered assault. I'm sure there would be a case you could prove. You could charge somebody with assault for doxing you.
I don't know.
The traditional understanding of assault is, you know, you get hit by somebody, but that's not assault. Hitting someone is called battery in the law.
Yeah, that's battery.
Yeah, you could phone somebody, right? There was a case in the UK. I don't remember the name, but there was a case in the UK. A woman, she was receiving phone calls where the person who would phone her would just remain silent on the phone. Eventually, the police found the person that made the phone calls, and he was convicted of assault. He assaulted her by being silent on the phone. And that's because the meaning of assault in the law means where you would cause a person to fear imminent
So
harm.
I am reading chat. I would just say, Jordan M, just a question. How do people with kids spend so long online? I don't get that at all. Well, the fact is, you don't understand half of your deen because you're not married. So, you know,
oh gosh.
When you get married and when you get married and understand half of your deen, or have the other half of your deen, then I might be able to answer your question. And also, Muhammad Hamdan, I think, he asked something.
Observer, big up, brother.
I haven't seen
Message
him
me
yet.
on Discord, Observer, bro. I want to talk to you.
So he said something like, how do I understand people's argument for having abortion? I'm not saying that I condone it. I understand that they have inside their own mind their argument for it, their own position for having their abortion, or for other people having an abortion. I'm not saying that I condone their argument or I agree with their argument. I understand that they are bringing forth an argument for it. But those were two things that were kind of addressed to me, so I figure I'd address it while I looked at my phone.
Jordan M says he got you there. Sorry, you got him there.
I mean, hey, I try to be fast on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing, man. To me, that's not like personal jabs, right? Like earlier, what she was saying was ad hominems, that Claire woman. But Jordan M there is like trying to make like a subtle jab, but not like making it personal, right? Because he's saying, I don't understand how people, he's saying like any person. So what did I do? I just turned in and said, well, you don't have half your ding, so I guess I don't know. Like, I don't know how to respond to you. But I don't know. I just think that's funny. I mean, honestly, I like going back and forth with Jordan M, dude. It's just fun. You know, like even when we're chatting in Veli's lobby, you know what I'm saying? It's just fun to go back. And even tonight, like I had like 5 people writing me in the comments, and Jordan M noticed that I didn't respond to him in a couple of minutes. He's like, hey, I thought we were having a conversation. So like, I just think, you know, it's funny. But and Jordan M, the other night, I did think of this, but I didn't type it. When I said that Zubaydah is one of the least knowledgeable Muslims on YouTube, I was driving, so I couldn't type this. But I did read your comment saying, really, why so? I thought it would be me. I thought you were mostly a TikToker, so I can't really compare you to a YouTuber. You know what I mean? Like, you're a different platform guy. But
so all of the Dawah cults on TikTok now, or are they still just on YouTube?
I don't know. I don't have TikTok.
I was going to ask if your wife uses it since she's in China.
Yeah,
it's a Chinese app, isn't it?
Yeah, but her TikTok is still linked to Chinese servers.
What does she get different content or the same thing that you would get in England or America?
She gets different.
Okay.
The Chinese government controls the internet there. Like, they don't have YouTube in China. That actually got into a big thing. I don't know if this is the real Jordan M. He says he doesn't have a TikTok, but Jordan M, just on his channel, he just said that he just did 3 different compilation videos of unreleased TikTok videos. So I don't know. That's weird. But I actually got into it on.
So that's a fake Jordan M, yeah. Do I need to block him?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, he does. Jordan M.
Let me block him. When I get him in there, I'll block him.
Jordan M. is a real I mean, now he's saying he was banned. That would make sense why he flooded his channel with about like 2 hours of unreleased TikTok videos. But no, I got into it on G Block one time with some person who was trying to talk about China, and he's talking about how, you know, he lives there and this and that. He still lives there, and I said, "How the hell are you on YouTube then?" I was like, YouTube is in Taiwan, but it sure shit isn't in China. They block it. They don't allow it.
It's probably a fake Mokeet as well, because he's trying to stop me blocking the fake Jordan. Yeah, when I get a moment, I'll block both of them.
No, I do agree with. I mean, I do think that that's the real Jordan M. It's just
oh yeah.
Now that he mentions that that he was banned, that does make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he is talking about Muslim persecution inside of China on a Chinese platform. If you think of it logically, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what's the was Jordan given an official reason why he was I don't know, banned from TikTok?
I don't know.
Or
I mean, have him on, dude. He came on the other night.
Yeah. Everyone's welcome. The link's in the description. So, I thought it potentially was, you know, overzealous mods, like because they see a white Englishman doing videos about Islam, they may have thought he was somebody mocking Muslims. So they didn't actually understand the humor side of it, and they probably thought he's an Islamophobe and therefore tried spreading hate and tried to block him for that. That's why I was wondering if there's a reason behind
So
that was given for.
is that Muslim privilege?
No, I don't think so.
No, I
If they
mean,
do, they would. If he was
person-
mocking Jews, it would be the same thing, right?
yeah, but that would be Jewish privilege too, right?
There's a law for that though. That's anti-Semitism. But this would just be more of a community guidelines thing. You don't want people upsetting a big portion of your customer base.
Yeah, I get it, but that would still be privilege, right?
Yeah. So Jordan says I did have Muslims reporting on me too. So yeah, if that's the case, I think it's a lot of Muslims. They'll look at your videos. They'll see a white guy dressed, you know, as an English person with white dress. They probably don't even think you're Muslim. That's the thing, right? They think you're
I would
just
agree with
somebody.
that.
So, yeah, some racist guy that's mocking Muslims, and their English is probably really poor as well. So I think that could be what happened, Jordan. But I may be wrong. You're banned for hateful content. Yeah, they think you're spreading hate against Muslims.
I mean, hell, that's why.
So it may not be for the Uyghur stuff. It's probably really just they're overzealous in their.
I mean, that's why
liberal left leanings.
That's why they shut down Educated Guess.
Who did? TikTok?
No, YouTube.
YouTube.
They shut down that channel because they shut down that channel. Like I said, after he posted the panel with me on Zobeda, and when he posted it, within about a day, his channel got shut down because she saw it and flagged it as hate speech. Now, the funny thing...
Jordan says, was it you reaction? No, it wasn't me, Jordan. Sorry, go on there, Weiser. I interrupted you. Apologies.
It was his second account.
Don't tell anyone, Weiser.
But, I don't know, because she flagged it as hate speech. She never denied that she flagged it as hate speech because she can't flag it as copyright. That's what we were talking about earlier. Is like your channel is not copyrighted material under YouTube. Like, check the terms of service. You are not, like, this stream is not copyrighted material. And so,
yes, yes, it is. It is.
No, it's not.
Yep.
Look it up.
Yep. Well, you could say legally, you know, to go to when you click yes on one of these YouTube contracts, right? There's actually some university researchers looked into this and they found there's about 1,000 contracts underlying this main YouTube agreement that you click yes to. So to read all of it, you'd have to read 1,000 different contracts.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter about legally, right? It matters about the terms of service, and your terms of service is that you are not your material is not copyrighted. And I gave an example.
It's owned by YouTube ultimately, right?
Yes.
But there is a form of copyright in the sense that if I have produced material and it's on my YouTube channel and you post it on your channel, right? You copy it, you download it, and you upload it to your channel without referencing me, I can strike you for copyright.
Well, no. Here's the difference, though. You said reference you, right? This is
I didn't say reference. I said if you download what without referencing me, yeah. Now, if you reference me, if you reference me, it can still be copyright. If I didn't give you permission, and if your reference isn't for what they call, what's that word again? Fair use or whatever, for analysis.
No,
or criticism.
But look,
yeah,
you do not. The point of a copyright is that you own it. YouTube owns your stream, and that's the reason they can deplatform you as soon as they choose to. So you cannot, like my channel right when I got on to YouTube, I did.
So if I download your video, right, and upload it on my channel without referencing you, another viewer will think that that's my content. That's copyright. That's your copyright.
Yasser Qadi lost when he started false flagging for copyrights on YouTube when he said the holes in the narrative against multiple channels. He lost every one of them.
Yeah,
Like,
because they were probably doing fair use. They were probably critiquing his videos. They weren't uploading his material as though it was their own material.
Is Critique Islam, okay, is a channel. And he was actually the first channel that I came across that actually did it. What he actually did was just take the whole interview, and he didn't even he didn't speak in it or nothing, but he reposted it and it got struck. And then after they found out that it's not copyrighted, because he tried to get a copyright strike on it, but it was on a YouTube channel, so he couldn't do a copyright strike on it. Like, he couldn't do it. So he lost that, and it's still up to this day. Now YouTube will take it down while they investigate. But once they find out that you are on a YouTube channel, YouTube owns the copyright. That's the point. You cannot.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
at the same time, within YouTube, within the world of YouTube, can one channel strike another channel for copyright?
You can try to
under their community guidelines. I think you can.
No, you can try to strike them, but YouTube owns the copyright, so they are not. So then that would be like you striking YouTube. Do you understand that concept? Like, I get it. I get it.
That's
why he won it. That's why he won it. Critique Islam.
If you've got content on YouTube, somebody uploads that material to Vimeo, right? That's copyright against YouTube because it's YouTube's content. Now, the point I'm raising is within YouTube, two different channels. One channel downloads and uploads another channel's material. It's not legally copyright because YouTube owns it all, but it's a community guidelines copyright strike.
No.
So you can flag the video within YouTube, and they can take it down for copying your material.
No, they can flag it, but YouTube owns the copyright. So if you claim that somebody is copyright infringing on you, they're not, because you are on YouTube's platform that owns the copyright of your material.
Okay. So how comes a channel? How can a channel get a copyright strike then?
Let me give an example. Dr. Disrespect.
If you got music, if you got background music in your video, you'll get a copyright claim.
No, that's different though, right? Because companies like Sony, Universal, blah blah blah, own the copyright to that song, which means that they are expecting to get paid. But YouTube has their own copyrighted music, which they do not charge for, and you cannot get a strike for by using that material because YouTube owns that material and you are playing it on their platform. But if you one sec. Sorry.
Real quick.
Let me just real quick.
I get it. But I just wanted, before I forget. So Jordan M's got a comment. He said there's an option where you cannot allow your content to be used. That's right. And on your channel, on my channel, for example, I've got an option called Creative Commons, I think it's called. That means you allow anybody to use your content, providing they reference you to say that it's your material, not theirs. Okay. So that wouldn't be the case if it wasn't, because if that wouldn't be the case if it wasn't considered copyright. But anyway, I'll take your word for it.
That's what we already spoke about, right? Like, technically, YouTube owns the copyright. Now, they do give you the option to say you don't want people to use it, but even Dr. Disrespect, do you know who that is?
No.
He's like a big time streamer for like games and stuff like that. He used to be on Twitch and now he's on YouTube. He got in trouble for striking a channel that clipped his material, that took his material and was using it on their channel. And they were actually, the video would show that it is his channel, okay? And it would show that this is his channel, here's the link. And he got in trouble for actually trying to strike that channel because he thought that because he was the one on the screen and it was from his channel that he could strike it as copyright. Well, YouTube got onto him for doing that. Now, I'm not saying that there's not rules about using people's material. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
it's not copyright. It's community guidelines, is what you're saying.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I think we're not in disagreement then.
Yeah.
I thought I was trying to say the same thing. Yep. So that's it, really. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the news today. I think Wimbledon, some girl, she's a teenager. She's gone through to the next round. I don't know her name. She might be related to Kiada Fakong. Not sure how to pronounce her name. And some of the players are complaining about the grass being too slippery. So what's happening there? I suppose the question I've got is, with regards to the grass, there's two options. One is Wimbledon fix the grass up.
I'm not a gamer, Jordan. I don't play games. I just like, I keep up with various aspects. But no, I don't play games. The closest game that I've played is Rocksmith. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a game that like teaches you how to play guitar or bass. You can actually plug in a guitar or a bass into your console. And
can you play guitar?
Yeah, I can play guitar. And
like anything, you can play anything you like off
no,
or
no,
you play from music sheets or like.
I mean, I know how to read music. I used to play trumpet and baritone, but as far as guitar goes, like bass, I'm actually really good, but guitar, I'm not so great at it. But I know how to play chords and I can make songs, and there's various songs that I can play through learning through the game called Rocksmith. But
Jordan, look at that comment. That's how you spell bass. Okay. Yeah, free lesson there in language and literacy. And another Dawa person that can't speak English properly. Don't take that personally, Jordan. Look, he's gonna attack me for the rest of my life. Oh, you said the Dawa people can't speak English. I was just joking. It's a joke. Yeah, that's how you spell it. You actually tell why so religious to turn his camera on, says Uncle Yazid. Why are you still there? Oh yeah, I think you are. Yeah, and the other option is if they don't fix up the grass at Wimbledon, then these shoe companies or the actual players should get different shoes that can cope with the slipperiness of the grass, don't you think? Jordan M is no longer a Dawa person. What happened? What are you then? 2 days ago you said you're a Dawa person. Like what's changed, Jordan? Oh, by the way, I watched I think has everybody seen Jordan's speech at the Uyghur demonstration protest? Yeah, he done really well. I was impressed. So good job, Jordan. That was a good speech. Did you know Orthodox Jews also believe in reincarnation, Generalist, says Claire Core.
I was preparing my son's bath, so Gray Dunya, why you want to see my face, bro? Why you all about like what's Wiso look like? I need to know what Wiso looks like. Why is that going through your mind, dude?
Jordan M is now just a Muslim, not a Dawa person. Oh, come on, Jordan. Stop the humble pie or whatever.
Jordan M, if you're not a Dawa person, you're not a Dawa person. Why were you on Hamza's den the other day? Stop
the modesty, Jordan M. Do you ever wonder how reincarnation is possible without a directing force? Says Claire Hall. How would you? That's a good question. Don't you think? Why so? Orthodox Jews believe in reincarnation, says Samarin. All Muslims give dawah, right?
So
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
you asked me what was a good question?
Let me see. Yeah, the question was from Claire.
Direction.
She said, do you ever wonder how reincarnation is possible without a directing force?
I mean, that's a decent question. I'm not gonna lie, that's a decent question. But I don't think that the belief system really calls for a directing force, right? It calls for a balancing of the universe.
That I mean, that law of reincarnation that exists, did it just invent itself, or was it put in place by an external designer?
See, that's actually a better question, in my opinion. Her question, which I don't even like the woman, but I will say that her question is a good one, that it leads to a better question in a way, right? Like, how did this begin? Like, how did the concept or evolution, I mean, not evolution, I'm sorry, reincarnation actually begin? So we're all fishes reincarnated back into fish, right? Like, and then if so, how did they gain the karma balance to become humans? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, because humans can reincarnate to things that they think are majestic, like cows and deer, and then they also say that due to your actions, you'd be reincarnated as something like a cockroach, right? Something that's just horrible. So what about those things? The very first one, right? The very first fish, did they have to reincarnate to another fish? You know, like,
yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Something that is a punishment for doing something wrong. How can you be born in a state of punishment when you've done nothing wrong before?
Correct.
Right? But then if something is eternally reincarnating, then there is no beginning. And if there's no beginning, then there's no linear movement. Then you can't have a beginning and end in this life anyway. Because
so is the theory that reincarnation didn't start until humans became conscious? And if so, why did reincarnation just start taking place because humans started existing? And
and how does the being know what it should reincarnate into?
Not only that,
is there a choice, or is there an external force dictating what it should become?
Not only that, if karma is based off the concept of morality, which it technically is based off of, how do these first humans know what is technically moral that will get them reincarnated into something majestic or lesser?
Very fascinating questions.
Yeah, I will say that Claire brought up a question that brought up better questions and deeper thought. So I will give her that, like, but I also have a problem of, like, the way that I say things to be understood. So maybe the way that she phrased it was the way that you said it. That's the way that she wanted to say it. You get what I mean? Like, I suffer from not being able to explain myself accurately unless I, like, write it down. You know what I mean? And then, but I think that what she asked was actually the question that you posed. It was just, I
think with what do you call it, with Sikhism, don't they believe that Waheguru is the one that governs the reincarnation process? I think that's the case. I may be wrong, but if that's the case in Sikhi, how does it work in Buddhism? Does Buddhism believe in Waheguru? And if not, then who's behind it all?
Why would Buddhism accept Sikhism?
Well, they argue that they're both dharmic faiths.
Yeah, but
So
why would
one dharmic faith have a belief in a supreme being and another dharmic faith not have a belief in a supreme being?
Well, no, that's
then what's the commonality between dharmicism or whatever the word is?
That's kind of the point that I made against Raj, right? Like like his Sikhism came around in the 1400s, and it's claiming that the Hindu gods that people used to worship as creator gods are just demigods, and that there is a creator god that created the Vishnu gods that people worshipped as real creator gods. So why would Hindus accept Sikhism when it actually goes against what Hinduism actually talks about? You get what I'm saying? Like, Vishnu is a creator god. Krishna is a creator god in Hinduism, depending on which sect and what geographical area you're in. But then the Guru Nanak comes and he's like, nah, those are just, you've been wrong for like 4,500 years. But don't worry, there is a creator god and he created your god. So you were only partially wrong. He only misdirected you for 4,500 years and making you think that that Vishnu and Krishna were creator gods. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's why I said earlier, I think it's the most ridiculous.
Here's a question. I don't want to say it in the wrong way, because all right, just generically speaking, not any religion. Okay, just think of a concept of reincarnation. Conceptually, could somebody reincarnate as an apple?
It is an organic, or a tree. It is organic,
all right?
Right?
Then here's a question. If a creature eats the apple and the apple gets what's the word when you die, it gets digested. In the creature's body, and it transforms into excrement, which and leaves the body. Is that a form of reincarnation? Has it reincarnated from an apple into that? Well, that's a fair question, and I didn't mean it as an insult or being rude, but it's just a question.
Then it fertilizes the grass,
the earth. Yes, exactly.
The grass grows, and then a cow eats the grass, and then the whole thing. So yes, that's proof. That's proof of its truth.
So is there a clear demarcation between the phases of reincarnation, or is every element of that reincarnation, like the digestion process, is that reincarnation as well?
Well, no, because it doesn't have a soul any longer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
apple doesn't have a soul, does it? Maybe it does.
Nobody is claiming.
There is a difference between a live apple and a dead apple. There is a difference.
Yes, true.
But once you eat it, enzymes and culture and DNA, bacteria.
No, you're right.
These are alive DNA. Too, right?
Trees do have DNA. I mean, like plants, grass, trees, everything has DNA that's in it, and anything that is an inanimate object has DNA. That's a hard thing.
Jen Wallace says that apples are not sentient. Okay.
So
this word sentient, I take issue with. It cannot be explained.
Yeah.
When you look at trees, if I drive down an English country lane, you'll see trees on the right side of the road and trees on the left side of the road, and the branches, like they try to reach each other over the middle. They form an arch, and some researchers have found out that trees, bushes, agriculture, they're not animals, but they're creatures. They're created by Allah, is what I believe.
They're animate objects.
Yeah. Well, they have ways of communicating with each other, and that's why these branches are trying to touch. Okay. And they communicate through the earth, through the signals they emit, through their roots, apparently. So there was a Joe Rogan show where he was discussing this with some experts. It's incredible. So this term of being sentient, I don't know if I understand it. Apparently plants, the trees and plants, they understand what pain is, by the way. Okay. So this is what they proved.
I think the
I
sentient
don't
comment
have
actually,
the evidence for it, but it was on the Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah.
I think that the sentient comment actually goes like forces them into a box, right? Because like we said earlier, you know, the first fish had to reincarnate to another fish when it died, right? If it's a sentient thing. So why is the claim that possibly like that reincarnation is what caused humans to exist or frogs to exist or whatever? You get what I'm saying? Like, because what did they just achieve such great karma as a fish that they eventually became a frog, and that's how frogs came into existence? Or do you get what I mean? Like, how when you start saying sentient, that's where a big like Pandora's box is brought forth, because then you have to explain why every sentient being is not forced into reincarnation.
Yeah. And Claire has said, apples do not fear death. So this is Claire's, big up to you, Claire, anyway, first of all. So Claire's comment is indicating that the concept of being sentient can be understood by something having fear. And I suppose along that line, love and hope and fear.
What about
similar
instinct?
emotions?
So instinct.
Yeah.
So just instinct.
But
so everything that has instinct, that's even bacteria, right? Like bacteria, viruses, they all have instinct. That's how they survive. They find, like, let's use a virus, for example, right? A parasite even. It obviously has instinct to multiply, and it has to have the instinct to find a host and then multiply. So that would be sentience, right?
Yeah, and a desire to survive and procreate. It's got that natural goal.
Are viruses, do viruses, whenever they come to their end, do they get reincarnated? And if so, do they get reincarnated into let's say other entities that could be infiltrated by the same virus? Like, what would be the form of karma or being reincarnated if you're a virus that you kill something, a parasite? Let's say you're a parasite that kills an animal, and then you reincarnate into that animal for the same parasite that you once was to come and kill you. I don't know. I think that's a unique concept.
And if you're an animal, how can you ever upwardly? How can you ever achieve upward mobility through reincarnation? Because you're going to always kill other animals in order to eat. The only way up is if you become one of these herbivores, or a vegetarian animal, basically.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why deers and cows are held in such regard.
Ah, yes, good point. That's a good point.
But even then, though,
and elephants too.
But even real quick, even then, though, grass is an organism. You know what I'm saying? So they are killing an organism. Now, now that may not be
but they're not sentient.
We don't.
As long as it's not sentient, no one cares.
No, here's the thing: we don't have proof that they're sentient. What if one day we do find proof that they're sentient? Then what is the excuse? Just saying, as a hypothetical, you know. And reaction. You know, I don't try to speak in hypotheticals a lot of times, especially when I speak about religion. But that kind of shows that this belief system is primal, in my opinion. You know, that before they knew anything about like trees being living, plant grass having the same DNA structure as humans, they were just making assumptions and saying, like,
When you mow the grass, does it scream in fear?
do fish scream when you pull them out of a lake?
No, but lobsters scream when you put them in water.
So I'm asking you,
Fish don't have
no,
vocal. Do fish have vocal cords like humans do?
does grass?
Is the grass the same as a fish? You guys are so stupid. Why is this funny? Like you're so
That
That was a
dumb.
good
Like
answer.
it's
That was a
obvious.
touche moment there. Yeah, go on.
No, it's not. Like no, it's not. Grass is not the same as a fish.
No, but you
Hello?
asked. No, you
The
asked.
fish is sentient. The grass is
I
not.
want to show.
The fish
I
will
wa-
fear death. The grass does not. This
We
is
don't
what
know
I'm
if that's true or
saying.
not. We don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
Do you have evidence that grass does not fear getting chopped?
How would we know if it does?
That doesn't matter. My question was, do you?
No, it does matter.
No,
What kind of test?
You claim definitively that grass does not fear getting chopped. My question to you is, do you have evidence to support that theory?
No.
Okay, then you can't say that it's a definitive. And the reason we laughed
Is
about
grass
what I just said,
sentient? Is grass
the-
sentient?
we don't have proof that it isn't.
Does grass have a conscience?
We don't have proof that it doesn't.
Well,
That's the whole
the Joe
point.
Rogan show argued
Are you
that
claiming
it
that
does.
fish have? Are you claiming that fish have consciences?
Yes. Why
You
wouldn't
believe
they?
that? So
They
you don't.
they
So are you? So
fish are
instinct.
alive. They can yes, they
Grass
have
is alive.
instincts.
Grass
They
is alive.
experience hunger. They experience death. They experience pain. They experience. I mean,
So
come on, it's
so
not like that
let's start when
hard.
you just came. Let's just start with when you came on and you said, "Does grass scream in pain?" And the reason we laughed. Okay, so let's start with that. The reason we laughed when it was brought up is because you said, "Does grass scream in pain?" And then I bring a fish because a fish doesn't scream. And then you try to say, "Well, they don't have vocal cords." Well, grass doesn't have a vocal cord. So that's a funny that you would try to equate the two things when both things don't have what you were trying to say they don't have. And you can't prove that they don't feel pain. Like
Okay.
that's
Does
the point.
grass know? Does grass have a consciousness that they is it aware of its existence?
Can you prove that it's not?
Yo, like all these like that's what I'm saying. Like we could just counter each other with
Does
dumb
grass,
shit all
no.
night. Like
Does grass have a will to grow bigger and take over areas?
is that a will though, or is that
Yes.
just nature?
The will
Is
to
that
power.
a will though? Is that a will?
Nietzsche spoke of this. Every living object has the will to power, which means that they want to be big and they want to populous, right? So the will to power would be that one blade of grass wants to grow as tall as it can possibly, and then to procreate.
But how
and
do you
cause
know
a
it
different blade of
wants
grass.
though? How do you know it wants?
That's
It doesn't
the will.
desire.
That's the
It
will
doesn't.
of power.
But that's not a desire.
That's the
Grass
will of power.
doesn't
Okay,
have
James.
desires. It may grow, and that's what it does. It multiplies as a living
Is that its
organism,
instinct?
right?
Is that its instinct?
I don't know. How can we know if it has instincts?
Okay. So
It doesn't move out the way when people
Okay.
walk, so it just lets people walk all over it.
Neither
It doesn't
does an ant.
part.
Neither
It
does an
doesn't
ant.
part. If you let it, it will.
No, an ant just moves.
Yeah,
And it will
because
move-
we're
it will move
monstrous.
Look.
It can't look
An ant will move under your foot while you're walking. That is a fact.
right because the field of view is probably. But did you ever try to catch one with a paper towel and it runs away from you, right? Just
That
like
doesn't prove
spiders,
anything.
once they see you, they'll run away from you because they fear death.
Okay. Let's start with the questions that we had before you came on the panel. So, when did karma begin?
No, I don't know. Buddha didn't pretend to know.
So
It's been this
so
way ever since. Like it's been this way in cycles. So
so
the cycles of the universe,
do fish
universes
do fish
come
have
and they
karma?
go.
Do fish have karma?
Possibly, yeah. Yes,
Possibly.
yes,
So it's not
yeah.
definitive.
Well, yeah, they're an animal, so yeah, I suppose they would have karma.
So it
Or this
doesn't.
is
So you would say yes, that fish have karma. How can
yeah.
a fish do something bad that affects them in the afterlife? That when all they do is live off instinct of eating and surviving, how can a fish do something bad in karma?
Right. This is why it's such a punishment to be reborn in the animal realm, because you may be stuck there forever.
That's not true.
That's why
Because
it's considered a high punishment.
a cow, as you know, if you are a Buddhist believer, coming back as a cow or a deer is a high praise. So you can't say that
No, it's
coming back.
not.
Yes,
Where
it
did you
is.
read that? Not in my religion. An
So
animal realm is underneath the human realm, and it's truly a punishment. Maybe you're thinking
so
about Hindus.
yeah,
I
but
don't know what they believe.
Hindus are also a part of the Dharmic faith, right? Where they believe in
Yes,
karma.
but Buddha rejected a lot of Hindu concepts, like
Notice you're having
the
to separate.
existence of a. Yeah, they're different, but we're together, and that's what I'm saying. Like, not all. This is what I was trying to say. Like, the purpose of, like, we're not all about trying to debunk this and debunk that and prove us better than one. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
So
I
it's not
don't. I
about
don't think
that. I'm
anybody
not
does.
trying, like, I don't have to prove that my shit is better. I'm sorry, that Buddhism is better than Sikhism, or is more true, or is more real. Like that does nothing but cause suffering.
Nobody's asking you to prove it. What we're asking
But
is
that's
simple
what I'm saying. So
questions
why would?
that we're
Yeah. So
asking
yeah,
you.
Buddha rejected a lot of Hindu concepts, like number one, the caste system. Number two, slavery. Number three, eating animals. Number four, what else? Holy shit! Sorry. The existence of a permanent soul that transmigrates. Hindus have a different concept of reincarnation. Buddha never even actually taught reincarnation. He taught rebirth in cycles.
So did the first human reincarnate from?
We don't believe in
from
a first
less?
human. We don't
There has
believe
to
in
be a
one
first human.
person.
There
We
has
don't
to be a
believe in
first.
one person.
Look, even if it's thousands of people, the question still remains: did that reincarnate from an animal?
Possibly.
So you don't
But we
have
don't
an
have
answer
a
for this.
creation story. No, we don't have a creation story. Because there's no way to prove it. There's no way to prove. Nobody will ever know our creation story.
It's funny how
People
you
can
talk
make
about.
claims, but scientifically, and if everybody's completely honest, not one of us has been here, or nobody was around to document the beginning of humanity.
It's funny that you don't believe that, because it doesn't make that claim, but yet the Buddha made claims, and you show Buddha videos about like how Buddhism relates to science and stuff. But when I ask you about a form of science and you don't have an answer for it, right? Like, to me, that's kind of strange. So
it's strange to not claim a beginning of the universe story when it can't be proven. What is strange about that? That's completely honest.
No. Let's say this. So what if the very first group of fish, school of fish, right? They all mate and they have children. How did those children come to be? That new generation of fish without the parents dying, if reincarnation is true. Like something had to reincarnate them, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're missing the whole point. You're missing the whole point.
No, I want.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are missing the whole point.
So you can't explain when karma and reincarnation actually came into existence in your faith, but yet you're willing to accept that there might have been existence before karma.
What?
You're willing to accept that there might have been existence of sentient beings before reincarnation? Because what I'm asking is, like, even if there's one fish that comes into existence, if there was nothing before it that was sentient and to be reincarnated, then that
That's what I'm
fish,
saying. We don't believe that though.
so
We
then
don't
that
believe that.
fish,
We don't believe the earth was empty and then there was one fish and then
I'm not
the
asking you
one,
that. I'm
like,
not
that's what
asking
I'm
you that.
saying. So like that this
I don't think
concept
you're
you're saying
understanding the
is,
point. I don't think
I
you're
don't think
understanding.
you're understanding
So
the point. Maybe we're both missing each other.
even if it's 1,000 fish, right? What I'm saying is, then it didn't exist, right? Karma did not, the reincarnation did not exist in the first creation of sentient beings. But then somehow, at some point that we do not know, reincarnation started to exist, because the very first creation would not have reincarnated from something. That's the point.
Listen, like the difference is, right? Like, all right,
Reactionary,
reincarnation,
could you
there's
say
not
it better
like
than me?
a mass of like souls that's like waiting to pop into human. That's not what we believe. Like, we don't believe in
I
a
never said that's
soul,
your
that
belief.
there's no soul that is
I
comes and
never
goes.
said
There's no
soul. Reactionary, could you say what I said better, probably? Do you get what I'm trying to get at? Like,
beginning
so,
of our consciousness. We don't know the beginning and we won't know the ending.
and you don't know when reincarnation actually began.
Do you?
I don't believe in it. So why would I say that I know when it began?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey. I'm just saying, like, why make a claim nobody can back up?
Yeah, that's reincarnation.
Yeah.
Reincarnation is a claim that nobody can back up, but yet you still believe it, and then ask me, why do I make a claim?
So is heaven and hell, though. But people
And I
still
don't
believe
believe
in
in those
that.
either. I'm just using your words against you right there. That's it. I'm not making a statement. All I did was ask. So, when did reincarnation first start? Because apparently,
We don't believe in a first start. We believe in dependent origination. So everything that originated was dependent upon something else. We don't. There's no claim to know what that is. But
no, that's
I
just
need to study more
obfuscating.
about it too. No, I need to study dependent origination. If you go ahead and research that, I need to research it myself. But everything
The
that
point.
came into existence is dependent upon some other factors.
So the point that I'm
So
trying to,
nothing just
nobody
popped
would
into
disagree.
existence.
Look, nobody would disagree with that. Everything that came into origin would have something dependent before it, right? Like nobody, atheist, theist, or Muslims, Buddhists, whatever, Sikhism, it doesn't matter. They all believe that same thing. But the point here that I'm bringing up is about reincarnation. Is that even if there is just 1 or 1,000 of an original species, sentient species, it obviously didn't reincarnate from Earth. Now, because that would be impossible because it's the first ones, right? Whether it's 1 or 1,000. Now, if it has offspring, right, and it's still alive, even if it dies and it has 2 offspring, let's say, no matter what the species is, that would mean that one of the offspring did not reincarnate, and that the other one might have reincarnated into the offspring if the parent died. But that's not. So you do not
What?
have. You do not even
No, you
have
got it all mixed up,
reactionary.
buddy. You
Do
got
you
it all
understand
messed
that?
up.
Reactionary. Do you understand?
I heard parts of it, so I can't explain the whole thing. But what we were talking about earlier, Jen, was, for example, how does a being know what it should reincarnate into next?
We don't. We don't, or else we would all remember our past lives. We don't, because that self is done. Like, that self is gone. It's your
Yes,
consciousness. Your
the
energy, right?
consciousness has to go somewhere, right?
Can enter
How does it
right,
know where to
right.
go?
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
It
that's
goes
not the
somewhere,
issue.
doesn't it?
That's not the issue. The
Is
issue
Well,
here
energy
is
yeah, go on.
destroyed? Can energy be destroyed?
the
But it's
issue
not
that
about
I'm
the energy
bringing
being
out.
destroyed.
No,
How
reactionary.
how does it not turn into a cloud instead of, let's say, an animal?
A cloud?
Yeah. How does
Just like
the
it.
being know that it should turn into, let's
I
say, a
think
donkey instead of into a cloud?
no,
And
I think we need to focus on the topic that I brought up, which
yeah,
is
go.
so at the beginning
Mm,
of life
I
on
would say
Earth,
clouds aren't
at
sentient.
the
Yeah.
beginning of life on Earth, whether you believe that every animal that exists today was
Yeah.
created at just one time, Jen, just every animal was created at one time, then that means that they were not created from reincarnation. And then if they have offspring,
Mm.
and their offspring was not created from reincarnation. But at some
But
point,
creation, you don't be created
so
from
at one point,
reincarnation isn't a creating force. Like, what are you
what I'm
talking
saying
about?
is, so what I'm saying is,
Was
at
there a
some point,
beginning to reincarnation?
and when was it?
No, we don't believe so. We don't believe so. We don't believe there was a beginning, like an empty earth. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And like
Topic.
maybe
But in
once you can
Buddhism, sorry,
understand that, there was
but
like
Jen, in Sikhism, they believe that there was a Wahiguru who started
right.
everything.
Sikhism believes in all creator God. We don't have this concept.
But they're both dharmic.
Yes, because we believe in the universal laws of karma, of accumulation of karma, and right, like in upon death, our actions will. It's the universal laws of karma. That's what it's dharmic.
So these laws, who instituted these laws? How did they come about?
It's cause and effect, action and reaction. It's demonstrable.
What caused the first action?
We don't know. And he didn't claim to know. And he said that attempting to know or clinging to this idea causes suffering, which is absolutely true.
And so another claim that you made today is that sentient beings cannot reincarnate into non-sentient beings. Is that correct?
According to what I was taught, yeah.
And sentient, the idea of something being sentient is based on what our definition of something being sentient.
The way we're explained it is if they fear death. Do they fear death? Do they suffer?
Does grass? Yeah. Have you ever seen a dead tree?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a difference between a live tree and a dead tree. So
yeah.
trees
We
have
know
life,
that. Right. Yes. We know that, and we can visibly observe that and perform experiments to predict that or to detect that, right? But a tree could not perform an experience to realize that the tree next to it is dead.
According to our standards of experience, the tree may have its own standards of experiencing that.
Right.
We just don't know how to measure it, right? So our definition of sentientism is based on our standards.
Yeah, of course. Human knowledge is limited. Human knowledge is limited, right? We don't know everything.
So if we find out that trees do have a sentience, then what would that do to your faith?
Nothing.
Well, they would prove that what you just said about your faith is wrong, and then you would have to change your faith, right?
But no, not at all.
Yes, you would. You're arguing,
I would not.
You're arguing.
What are you talking about?
Because you're arguing
there's things you prove to these guys that may be wrong, and they don't change their faith.
No. The point
just because you don't believe it's just a belief, right? This is a belief. Beliefs are yes. No, because you don't get it.
You're arguing that sentient beings are the things that reincarnate. And then I brought forth
that
you
experience
said
rebirth
and you say that
from the
trees
effects of karma.
you say that trees are not sentient beings. So I said, if in the future we prove that they are sentient beings, then you would have to change your belief, which is true. You would have to
No,
change your belief. You would have to change your belief from believing
that's not.
that trees are not sentient to believing that they are sentient and therefore held to reincarnation.
Okay, so what would that do to my belief in knowledge? What would that do to me following the Buddha's Four Noble Truths
Do
and
you
Eightfold
agree that
Path?
what I just said
That
is true?
has
That you would have to
nothing
change your
to do
belief.
with it.
You
No,
would
I
have to.
don't agree with that at all.
You would have to change your belief that trees
If they
do not
proved trees and
reincarnate.
vegetation were sentient, that would not change my belief
Yes, it would,
whatsoever.
because your belief right now is that they are not
That might
sentient.
change your belief,
No,
but it
your
won't
belief,
change
your
my
belief,
belief.
your belief right now is that they are not sentient, so they do not reincarnate. But if they prove that they are sentient in the future, then your belief system would have to change to that they are sentient and that they do reincarnate. This is this is me using your words. That's all I am doing.
No, this is you. You're using your
Reactionary, did I say
logic
something that's true or
against
not?
a belief.
Did I say
This is
something
what
that's
I'm
true or
saying.
not?
Like this is
I
okay.
can
So
see
let
Jen's
me
point.
let me
No,
make a
I
point.
can
Let
see
me
your
make a
point, Jen.
point, right?
Go on.
Yeah,
Go on.
let me
Yeah.
make a point, right? This is where I think that science and religion should be separate, right? Like, because not everything in religion can be backed up with science. We can apply science to certain things to say they correlate, or yes, it
You're
matches up.
waffling.
But at the end of the day, okay, bro, all right. At the end of the day, it's a belief, right?
So your
It's a
belief.
belief.
Let
I
me explain this.
reject. No. Give me a second, please. I reject the Abrahamic belief of the afterlife. Yeah, to me, in my personal being and my personal experience and my belief is that this makes more logical sense than that, right? That's it.
That's not
That's
the point that I
it.
was
So, like,
making. What I'm saying, Jen, what I'm saying is your current belief system is that trees are not sentient or grass, so therefore they do not reincarnate. But if we prove
right.
in the future that they are sentient, trees and plants, grass, then that would mean you would have to change your belief into including trees and grass as sentient beings that reincarnate. That was what I said, that you would have to change your belief.
But that would have no effect on the tenets of Buddhism that I believe in. That's what I'm
Now, that's
saying.
what you
Like,
said.
it
No,
would
no,
have
no.
no
Actually,
effect on it.
actually, it kind of would, right? Because you're
No, it
arguing for
wouldn't,
a
because
tenet.
this, you
Let me
guys,
say this. Let
no,
me say this.
this isn't
Let me
even what
say
he
this.
taught.
Right,
Like, so,
right now, you are arguing for tenets of your belief, but because it hasn't been
right, which
proven about
reincarnation is not included.
which
It's not included.
you are not, you are arguing, okay, for the tenets of your belief, and you are excluding certain things from the tenets of your belief. Now, if it is proven that things outside of your belief system, the tenets of them right now, actually are included inside of your belief system, then you would be changing the tenets of your belief. That's just a fact. Because then your argument would no longer be that
To
trees
be
and
a
grass.
Buddhist.
It would not. Your argument would no longer be that trees and grass do not reincarnate because they are not sentient. You would have to
Okay,
hold the
which would
position
have
that
zero effect on the
gosh, dude,
teachings of
whatever,
Buddhism.
dude.
I don't know. I'm sorry you don't want to hear my answer,
I'm not
but it's
talking
not.
about the teachings of
That's what I'm
Buddhism. I'm
saying.
talking about your belief. I'm talking about your belief inside of Buddhism, right? I'm not talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about what Buddhism teaches. I'm talking about your belief. That's what I said earlier. I said that you would have to change your beliefs. And then you argued me about that. You would
Yeah.
have to change your beliefs to
That's
now
why so.
include trees and grass.
Yeah, I think
this isn't going to conclude on this one, but I've got a question. If we can move on.
Yeah, I have a question too about the comment on your screen.
Yeah, one moment. We'll come to that. Do you want me to remove the comment, or is it offensive?
Well, I'm just saying, if you replaced Buddha with Muhammad and Buddhist with Islam, would that be offensive?
No, it's not the same. Muhammad wasn't a Mohammedan. That would make sense. That would be a comparable comment.
Muhammad was not a Muslim, like Jesus
he
was
was a
not
Muslim.
a Christian.
No, that's different. Muhammad was not a Mohammedan. He was a Muslim. Christ was not a Christian. He never worshipped Christ. But the question I had
right,
is,
but we don't worship Buddha, so yeah, go on. Sorry.
Okay. But all right, so that's a fair question. Was Buddha a Buddhist?
The system of belief that the path, the Eightfold Path, and the Four Noble Truths that he taught, the path that he gave, was labeled as Buddhism. He did not coin the phrase. Yes, you're true. Yes, that's correct. He did not coin the phrase, but it was labeled as such by society that these followers, this was the followers of the Buddha.
Okay, that's fair enough. The
Buddha
question
Sangha.
I get it. In terms of the reincarnation, right? If a lion eats, let's say, a warthog, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the warthog is going to be reincarnated. When does the reincarnation happen? During the digestion process? Or
There's
after?
no information on this. There's no information on this.
Okay.
There's no
All right.
information on the technicalities and this is what I'm saying, like even what you're saying, this reincarnation, the word is not found in our scriptures. Buddha taught the concept of rebirth, that if you live a virtuous life, you will be happy on rebirth. If you live a immoral or criminal life, you will have an unpleasant rebirth. And that's about as far as it goes. There's stories about him saying the levels. This is a huge misconception that people have. This is a huge misconception that people have.
He never taught reincarnation. Why so? I saw you, bro.
No, he described different realms. Like he described this one guy who was going around killing people. Can I finish my statement?
Let Jen finish.
Thanks.
Yeah, go.
So there's different stories, right? Which there's thousands of suttas, right? Like collections of teachings that he gave. Yeah, in different teachings, he described different people. You know, like this murderer surely will be, have an unpleasant rebirth, or maybe he will, experience the realm of ghosts among his rebirth because of how bad he was, right? The animal realm, like what a truly punishment it is, because it may take lifetimes, it may take hundreds of years for somebody to be able to move up, right? So quote unquote, from the animal realm. So this is why it's a punishment. So this is why we want to live the best life, the most moral life that we can.
Let's use rebirth.
Sorry, Wasa, just 1 minute. Can you see that comment on the screen? I think that was going to be my next question as well.
One interpreting all right. And what stops one interpreting rebirth as the afterlife and as in heaven and hell? Okay, so even he's explained hellish realms, right?
So
but they're not permanent.
Jen,
that's the thing. They're not permanent.
But then how did we interpret it as reincarnation?
I think something you said is like quite interesting. Like if the animals are lower in reincarnation, how can an
Yeah.
animal do something wrong? Like I
Okay,
asked
so
earlier,
if
like how does a
okay,
fish, how does a
I
fish,
actually okay, I'm gonna give you the answer that I asked the abbot at my temple the same question. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the answer he gave me, right? I don't know the technique. I don't know. I'm just gonna give you the answer he gave me, right? He said to me, if a lion gives birth to a bunch of baby cubs, right? And those baby cubs get murdered by the next lion, right? They might have a chance because they're blameless. Yeah, they haven't hunted, they haven't killed, they haven't um killed anything yet. So there's different things. That's the example that he gave me.
well, no, but what I asked you is like a fish, which is just instinctual, right? Like they just like let's use catfish, which are not
Yep,
they
yep,
just eat like they're bottom feeders. They don't,
yep.
they just eat like poop and stuff. They don't really eat
hmm
animals that at all.
They're not
So
predatory, right? They're not predatory.
so
And also they
so
lack the
how
decision making. They lack the decision making to make good or bad choices, right? This
so
is
how are
why.
they
So if
judged?
they're judged
By
based on
rebirth.
the
By
karma that
rebirth by
they've
rebirth standards of karma. How are they judged when they're just running off instinct, like you said, and they don't cause harm to anything as a species? So how are they judged?
I don't know how they're judged, but whatever karma that fish accrues is what's gonna be applied to their rebirth.
So
I don't know.
how do they accrue karma for a rebirth when all they do is instinctual things?
I
Like
literally don't know. I'm telling you, I do not know. I don't
and,
know. These
and
things were not answered, and they were not answered for a purpose. And the purpose is because pondering upon these things causes suffering, as we're exhibiting in this very moment.
so you claim that I'm suffering by asking this question.
Um,
So by
yes,
asking these questions, I'm suffering.
this is a form of suffering. Yes, 100%.
How? Okay, how? How am I suffering by asking these questions? So really
Because
what you're
you
saying
don't
is
seem happy, nor am I very happy. So the lack of
so
happiness
no,
is
no, I'm
this experience a
content.
pleasant,
I'm completely
unpleasant,
content.
or neutral situation, right?
I'm
So
actually
this is
rather
what I'm
content
saying.
with
Okay,
asking these
cool.
questions.
Thinking about these things and worrying about these things and not worrying about the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths is suffering.
So by
Confusion, delusion is suffering.
by your premise, the thing is, don't ask these questions about your belief system, because if you do it, it's bad karma.
No, I didn't say bad karma. I said suffering. I never
Well,
said bad
suffering is
karma.
bad karma, right?
No, suffering is suffering. People can
Wait,
suffer
what?
without accumulating bad karma. Bad karma is different.
The middle path, right?
Suffering is the effect.
So the middle
Suffering is
path
is an
is about
emotion.
suffering. So middle path is about suffering and about excess, about like happiness, and you have to find the middle path. Now, the what it comes off to me is like you're accepting something that you don't understand completely, which is normal for religious concepts or belief systems. But what I'm saying is,
Did he drop out? Or is that me?
Yeah, I think he probably dropped out. Yeah, he did.
Oh. So the
You're
thing
doing
is
well,
that
Jim.
I think he's failing. I think he's failing to realize is that the belief in reincarnation or the belief in rebirth is not required to be a Buddhist or to practice Buddhism. Not whatsoever. Like there's we don't have pillars of faith and required, but like All we are required to believe in is the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, and that's it. That is literally it. And as he even said on his deathbed, he didn't mind that there were monks that were trying to create their own way or do their own thing. He knew that there was people that were going to twist things around and make additions. But as long as the path and the truths are the same, then he would, die being known. That's why he didn't even name a successor, because he knew that that was going to happen. So all of this extra stuff that he said, listen, really, don't worry about all this stuff because you're going to confuse yourself into suffering. He was right. So I mean, I don't know what to say, like I said, I'm not the most knowledgeable person. I'm not a scholar, I only know what I've been told. And yeah, to me, it makes sense.
But you see what I think it causes a little bit of, I won't say conflict, but a diversion of opinion on this, is that people will use rational questions to come to the conclusion that there is a God, right?
Mm.
And these questions, they're to do with the concept of where we come from. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These questions of where we come from lead us to believe that there's an ultimate creator and we don't have an eternal regression. Now,
see, I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Correct. I know you don't. I'm saying that from the Muslim perspective, this is what leads us to believe
it's
in an
easy.
ultimate creator.
It's real easy.
Right? Yeah, it makes sense that way. So these questions lead us to those answers. But since that is the criteria that leads us to this belief in God, right? That is, for us, is the one of the foundation principles of our belief. And it's what makes us not be Buddhist, but be Muslim. Now, well, not necessarily Buddhist. I don't want to use the word Buddhist, but someone. Now, if I didn't understand or believe in that concept of there being a beginning and a foundational force and I won't say architect, but a supreme intelligent designer, these different words for the creator. Now, if I didn't believe in that and I wanted to follow an understanding of reincarnation or a belief that system that preaches or believes in reincarnation, it's those questions that if they lead me to reincarnation, I cannot believe in there being an ultimate creator anymore. And vice versa. If I believe in reincarnation, but I cannot understand it or make sense of it, I cannot remain on that path. I'll have to result in the other side of believing in God.
No, that's not true, because the Sikhs believe that their God, their Waheguru, determines their reincarnation.
And that's what we were asking about earlier, because it doesn't add up.
Right. So while they make a claim, right. So they make a claim that they know, right? That their gurus made a claim that they knew what was that force, right? Buddha didn't make that claim because he could not prove it. He couldn't demonstrate it.
So you don't believe in reincarnation?
I think okay, this is what I'm saying. I believe that the concept of rebirth makes more sense than the Abrahamic, belief in the afterlife, right? That's what I believe. Right?
And that question earlier, which I highlighted, sorry, I'll come back. But that question I highlighted earlier showed that one can interpret rebirth in a way that is compliant with the Muslim understanding of what happens after life. Now, what made you determine that it means reincarnation and not the Muslim concept?
Because I don't believe that a loving God would punish us eternally, because that doesn't prove that proves that that's not merciful, right? That's not demonstrating mercy or love.
Yes, it is.
See, this is where
it's
we
justice,
differ.
isn't it? It's justice.
No.
If somebody gets eternal paradise, is that not merciful?
So no, like I don't believe so. The reasons, right? If somebody's gonna get eternal paradise just because they believe the same thing other people believe in the same way that other people believe them, and that's their only key into paradise, but they can do whatever the hell they want to do on earth, then no, I don't believe that. I don't believe they deserve it.
I think it's interesting that she just said that the Sikhs made a claim, right? And that the Buddha didn't make that claim because he couldn't prove it, but yet he can't prove rebirth.
Oh my God.
But he still made the claim though, right? He can't prove it.
In his according to the stories, he was able to.
Does nobody find the contradiction in that?
Okay, if you'd allow me to finish. If you read our stories, there are claims that he's made that he is able to remember his past lives. And also there are other people in the stories who claim that they can remember their past life. But again, I'm going to stress to you, I'm going to stress to you that these beliefs are not a tenet of Buddhism. You do not have to believe in rebirth, reincarnation, but you're not getting the point.
You made a claim that Sikhism made a claim and that Buddha didn't because he couldn't prove it. Yet he couldn't prove rebirth, and he made that claim. Now people saying that
he could. According to him, he could.
But that's not proof, is it?
No.
How is that
scientific? No, of course, no one's able to prove it.
So what
no
you
one's
just
able
said
to prove it. It's a belief.
Contradicts your whole statement about Sikhism right there. Like what are you
talking about?
They made a claim that cannot be proven, and so did the Buddha.
No, okay, I'm going to say this again. According to the Buddha, he could prove it because he experienced it. Whether you believe that or not is not my problem.
But that's not proof.
That's not my problem.
Because because Guru Nanak made the same declaration that he had proof based off of his belief. And so
and his followers believe him. His followers believe him. It's not their problem if you don't believe it.
The thing is, you're saying that Guru Nanak's belief isn't proof, but yet the Buddha's belief is proof.
What are you talking about? I'm not a Sikh. I'm a Buddhist.
Do you know the difference between blind faith and belief?
Yes, of course.
So yeah, to have blind faith in something is one thing, but to believe, generally you need a reason to believe something. So what reasons do you have to believe in the claims of the Buddha?
Because everything else that he said, and let me stress this again, I have personally experienced them to be true. That's only from my account. I can't tell everyone else to believe it. I can't substantiate it. This is my only belief, right? Everything else he said was true. So why wouldn't this concept that he had be true as well?
So if everything I've said tonight is true, that means everything I say tomorrow night is true.
You are not an enlightened being. You're not the Buddha. You are not a philosopher.
Hey, according to you, right?
No, you have
No. What evidence do you have that I'm not an enlightened being?
Because enlightened beings are free from desires. So you still have a wife. You drink alcohol. You desire to get drunk, right?
That doesn't mean it's a desire. It's just what I like to do.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's just something I do.
Of course it is.
That's
a desire.
You're saying, so Buddha did have a desire to find the middle path, right? The Buddha left his wife and his children, and
Yeah,
then
before
went on
he
this.
was enlightened.
No, and
Before
then
he was
so
enlightened.
he had desires, and then he sat under a tree.
Before he was
And then he
enlightened.
sat in under a tree.
Watch
to
your
find,
mocking tone. Watch your
then he
mocking
sat
tone, please.
Then he sat under a tree because he
Yeah,
desired
yeah.
to find the middle path, right?
He desired to find
Did he
his
desire?
own experience
Did he
of
did he
the
desire? Did he desire to find the middle path?
before he was enlightened. Yes, he had desires. What are you laughing for, you drunken maniac?
So
Are you
you're
not understanding
are
what
you
I'm
claiming
saying?
are you claiming after he became Buddha and became
There's
enlightened, he didn't have
clear
desires?
criteria. There's
Are you
clear
claiming that he didn't
criteria
have
for
desires?
enlightenment.
Are you
There's
claiming
clear
that he didn't have,
criteria for
listen?
enlightenment,
So are you claiming that
which
he
you
didn't
do
have
not
desires?
fit.
Are you claiming that he didn't have desires for his favorite food after he became enlightened, or to eat? Let's start with eat and then say like his favorite foods. Like he didn't like one food, so he desired not to eat it and to eat something else. Is that your claim?
Okay, my claim is that after he reached enlightenment, the food that he ate to stay alive did not matter to him, except for if it caused suffering. So if an animal was slayed for his consumption, he would not eat it because that animal suffered for him.
That's not what I asked.
So no, he did not have desires. He didn't have no favorites. He didn't care about this tasted good or that tasted good. Absolutely not.
So can you provide me the evidence for that?
Yes, because the criteria for enlightenment is to be free from desires. That's the criteria.
So to actually become Buddha, he had to have something that is not the requirement to be Buddha. So to be Buddha, he actually had to have desire and then relinquish that desire by becoming Buddha. And then he never had another desire again.
Yes.
So he never went back to his wife and family after being Buddha?
They came to him and they were ordained as his students, and he trained his son like he trained everybody else.
So I'm asking you, did he have his family again? And you're claiming he didn't even desire his family. And you think that that's enlightenment? That he has a wife and child that he left, and then he leads them for years, and then they have to seek him out, and that's like enlightenment? So
you can put whatever
theory,
personal judgment that you want in your little mocking tone, but it's not going to change what I believe. So I don't know what your goal is here. But you could, like, whatever. Like, I get it. You don't believe in Buddhism. That's cool, bro. Just say it. It's bullshit. You don't believe it. It's all a bag of fucking rocks. I'd rather you say that than this condescending, mocking bullshit.
Well,
this is what I'm talking about in the difference of respect. This is what I'm talking about in the difference of respect when you talk to me about theology versus when you talk to reactionary about theology.
So what I'm doing is the same thing that I do with reactionary, right? I bring any conversation and I try to use the people's words that they use against them. So your concept of enlightenment is the elimination of desire.
It's not my concept. This isn't my religion.
Buddhism's concept of enlightenment is that you eliminate desires, but you have to have the desire to become Buddha.
Of course you do.
So you have to have enlightenment.
Yes.
You have to have desires to have enlightenment. And then when you get enlightenment, you're no longer allowed to have desires.
No, it's not that you're no longer allowed. It's not that you're no longer allowed. It's that desires no longer give you attachments and they no longer cause you suffering. So you are free from desires.
So once again, desires is not necessarily suffering, right?
Yes, it is. Desires cause attachment, which leads to suffering.
So you're claiming that desiring, like tonight.
Yes, there are wholesome desires and there are unwholesome desires.
So
yes,
tonight I
100%.
Tonight I desired to have pizza, and I had pizza. That was suffering until I had pizza.
there are wholesome desires and unwholesome
Was it
desires.
suffering? Was it suffering when I was like, hey, I want to have pizza tonight, and then I had pizza? Was I suffering between that time?
Are you a Buddhist on this path? How can you
No, I'm asking you
compare
because
it?
you're claiming that desire is suffering. Now, I don't believe that I suffered unless somehow I don't understand my own suffrage. I don't understand how that works. But your claim is that suffering is desire, and that desire is suffering. So I desire pizza, and then I had pizza. Was I suffering in the 20 minutes that it took for me to get that pizza?
Your hunger, I suppose, was a form of suffering.
But I wasn't. No, it wasn't that I was hungry. I actually got the pizza before I was hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is preemptive purchase. But I'm just using her words against her, right? Like,
No, you're not, because I said desires lead to attachment that lead to suffering. So now
Okay,
if you ate
attachment.
that pizza and you're like, oh, that pizza was good, I want to get one tomorrow, and I want to get one the next day, and I want to get one the next day because that was amazing. Now you're attached to that pizza. So now if you
So am I
really
attached?
want pizza, if you really want pizza and your wife gives you chicken nuggets, you're going to be like, fuck these nuggets. I want some pizza. That's suffering. Yeah.
No,
There's
no.
all
So
different ways that things that we cling to. There's all different ways that things that we cling to
so okay, let me
can
attack.
can
Now
lead to
let me
being
use your words again.
attached to them, to
So
being
let me
attached
use
to
your words
them.
again. So let me use your
Yeah,
words
man.
again.
This is
So
getting fucking
suffering,
boring.
But there's one thing that, sorry, Jen, you did say there's like wholesome desires and non-wholesome desires. I think you differentiate.
Yeah, of course there is. Of course there is.
So it's not all
So if you
desires that are
desire,
suffering.
no, if you
There's
desire
only
to
the
follow
non.
the eightfold path and have good thoughts and do good speech and don't lie and do right employment and do right concentration and right mindfulness, then those are wholesome. You
so
desire
you
to
think,
do
so
good.
is it,
You
was it
desire
wholesome? Was it wholesome that he left his family?
he was unenlightened.
But was it wholesome to leave his family? So him leaving. So
he
what about
was
causing the suffrage on other people? What about
enlightened.
so what about causing the suffrage on other people? Right? Like you
Okay,
don't
at that point in
that
his
when he
life,
left,
okay,
he caused
at
suffrage on his
that point
family.
in his life, he was not a holy man. He was not a monk. He literally just did it, right? He literally just did it. So he at that point in his life, he was a man who realized that he had been protected by his father, that he didn't know shit about the real world. He was arranged to marriage this lady from the next tribe over. You know, they were married for years and years and years before they had a son, right? He saw his wife suffer and die through childbirth. Yeah, that's not, his wife died after giving birth to his son. Yeah. So the son was taken care of by, I think it was his sister, her sister, somebody in the family. Yeah. So he took off to go on his journey, right? Literally named his son Feder, like ball and chain, right? And took off, yeah?
So it doesn't matter that he caused suffrage on his family. It doesn't matter that he caused. So it doesn't matter that he caused suffrage on his family by leaving them because he became the Buddha and he became enlightened.
So if later on he had now trained his son to relieve all of his suffering for the rest of his life, that means nothing.
You didn't answer the question. I asked you. So in the
no,
moment,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It
so
doesn't matter.
In the moment,
nope, it don't
in
matter.
the moment when he left his family, that obviously caused some form of suffrage on them.
Yeah, of course it did. Yeah, maybe
So
they were sad. Yeah.
So then he becomes the Buddha. He becomes enlightened, and it just doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter that they have to come and find him, right?
See, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure how they got back reconnected. I'm not sure how that happened. So don't quote me on that.
Are you sure that they ever did?
Yes, because he trained his son. His son was Rahula.
I
He
think
was
that
one
is
of his
You
strange.
main
know
disciples.
that is from Arabic. You know, Ruhullah. It means the spirit of Allah. I
I
wonder
think
Maybe
if
it,
saying
there's.
it wrong. Let me say it wrong.
I think it's strange that you are making various like, suffrage to attachment, right? So
Rahula, yeah, Rahula, Rahula. It's a
Yeah.
they were, yeah, it was a Pali word.
so he causes suffrage, and they want to attach themselves to him, and he never looks out for them, and then they have to come and find him, and you're thinking that this is some type of beautiful thing.
Listen, like I said before, you don't have to. I don't need your approval for nothing that I believe in. You know what I'm saying? You will never understand it. You will never understand it. And me I'm about to just stop this because me trying to explain to you, like, I can see what you're doing. You just want to debunk. You don't care about nothing else. And that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But it gets like, I'm bored now. I'm bored. Like,
Okay.
whatever people could say,
That's what
yeah,
Claire
I'm
said
backed into
earlier
a
as well.
corner because I'm like backed into a wall. I can't substantiate my foot. Whatever, then I can't.
You know
Then I
what,
can't.
Jen?
Whatever. Like, I don't even care.
Claire said the same thing earlier. She was bored from
Yeah,
YSL.
man. Big up Claire, man. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like, for real.
Well, you know,
But it's cool though. I
it's
get it. Whatever. He
yeah.
might not understand it. People might not understand it. But you know what I'm saying? Then maybe I'm not the right person to be talking about this.
At least you're trying. You know,
Yeah,
you're
but
giving it
until
a
like
go.
nothing he's gonna like, there's nothing that this guy can say that's gonna pull me off my path. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
God's literally gonna have to come down here and smack me across the face to pull me off this path. So
Why are you so entrenched in your position? Like
what do you mean?
part of growth I found is you know there's this concept they taught me that you should unlearn what you've learned sometimes.
Yeah, but
And
reactionary, you gotta
mhm.
understand, I feel like I've done that already. I've been through
Yeah,
that
and
phase already.
it
I had
sounds
to
to me like
unlearn
you're
Christianity.
entrenching yourself in. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. You did, right? So you've done it before.
Yeah.
Do you think you can do it again, or do you think it's correct to sort of I'm using the word again, entrench yourself in this position?
The thing is if I found anything in my life to be truer than this, then I would have to change, right? If I was honest, right?
Because all of the points that have been brought up tonight, don't you think they were reasonable points?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he could think whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, what he does is he judges Dharma through an Abrahamic lens, which is so like you it's so far off. You know what I'm saying?
And
Because
that
it's
term
not gonna be the
Abrahamic,
same.
again, yeah, to
Yeah.
me that when you word it like that, it
Mm.
seems to be coming from that entrenched position. You've taken the view of something being Abrahamic, but it might just not be. He's coming from an atheist perspective. It may just be a
Right.
logical
Yeah, that's cool. That's
reasoning.
cool. But you have to remember that this guy spent most of his time reading about your religion.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm
Look,
saying? So he's
we're
built his foundation
used to
in your
his
principles.
the same way he Waiso is discussing with you. I've had tons of discussions with Waiso the same way, but about Islam. So it's not
Yeah.
something that is new to us. I feel your pain is what I could say.
Yeah,
But you're
it's all
doing
good,
well. You know,
man.
you
It's
didn't
all
have to come on. You didn't have to, engage, and you did.
good. Yeah, I just don't
That's good.
like when it, like, I don't know, he does this thing where he just makes these crazy, like, claims, and I'm like, whatever, I just don't want to hear it anymore, so, yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry for cussing, man. I'm trying to stop, like, it's terrible.
Why?
Not bad, man.
Is it something? is there bad karma associated with it?
Yeah, it's wrong speech. I shouldn't be cussing. I shouldn't be cussing. I shouldn't be talking like that, you know? It's just such a bad habit. Like, it's so bad. It's hard to break.
Yeah. Oh well. So what time is it there? Midnight.
Yeah, 12:27. Yeah.
12:27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
East
see
Coast.
these things, like they say, like he's defeated it. Yeah, right. Oh, he's ruined Buddhism. Yeah, okay. One guy from Tennessee is gonna knock out the world's
No,
fifth largest religion.
no. Great Dunya is saying that why so defeated me. He's calling me dharmic reactionary.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he
That's
was
okay.
like comma after that and then saying your name. Yeah.
I think he's a little bit upset because of yesterday. I was a bit in admonition mode.
See, me and Gray used to be cool. We used to be cool. I don't know why he changed, but yeah, we used to be cool, man. Now you've been throwing shots at me, so.
Yeah, Great Dunya is a long-standing member of our online community. So
yeah, for sure. Him and Shake were always cool with me. Like, him and Shake were always cool with me. I like Shake one still. But yeah, man. All right, I'll let you do your thing, man. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, I'm sorry
Anytime,
for cussing.
Jen.
And
No worries.
I got a little heated, but yeah, this cat's annoying, man. Sorry. All right, man. Have a good night, man. Peace.
All right, no problem. Thanks. Big up to Jen for coming on the panel and giving it a good go at defending, the reincarnation topic. So it's interesting that this reincarnation concept, it turns out, is not even a key principle of Buddhism. The only thing that's a core principle of Buddhism is something called rebirth. Now, it's how that rebirth has been interpreted that seems to be, what's the word? Like, people are free to choose how they interpret it. And it seems many Buddhists have interpreted it as being reincarnation. Whereas it could well just be, being resurrected on the Day of Judgment. Who's to say? Now, why is it that reincarnation has been accepted as the dominant belief when it comes to Buddhism? I don't understand where that came from. So, the right reaction is saying that there's zero evidence for rebirth. Yeah, well, that's another topic that Waiso especially was pushing. Where is your evidence? Now, when it comes to evidence, Jen's response was that it's belief that makes us believe something, right? Belief. Well, but what causes that belief? So this is why we brought the difference between blind faith and belief. Because as Muslims, our belief is based on reason. You should have reason to believe in something. And blind faith, it doesn't necessarily wash for us. But obviously, Jen has got experiential experience. What there's a word for it, I don't remember. But what else? Jen Willis says, I gave my reason. Yes, you did. Well, you gave your reason as being what you've experienced. What you've experienced from readings, from what you read from Buddha, you've experienced it to be true. So that's the basis of your belief. Now, what you've experienced or what you've read to be true from Buddha, I don't know. And you didn't articulate that for us. So it's like a secret. It's something you know that we don't. Right Reaction says, belief without divine revelation is just hope. Yeah, I agree. I found everything else he said to be true, says Jen. That you did. Now, for us, as people who are not you, we're third parties. We don't know the things that he said that you found to be true. What are the things that he said that you found to be true? Perhaps we could look at those words and we may not find them to be true the same way you did. Therefore, it wouldn't be objectively true. I don't know, because it's purely subjective, it seems so far. God bless Jen Wallace, though. She needs to come home to the Creator. Yeah, big up to Jen Wallace, Right Reaction. And I ask Allah to bless her with his guidance and mercy, as I hope for all of us as well. And yeah, I'm a fan of Jen Wallace. She's always welcome here. So yes, anecdotal evidence. Why So Religious says she's really mad that I questioned her. I think most women are mad with you. Why So Religious? I've not seen you have a good encounter with women so far. When I say good encounter, I mean an encounter where they appreciate your conversation. Okay, Suspicious Soul, Right Reaction. And by the way, Why So Religious? You did demonstrate a form of what's it called tonight? Chauvinistic type of behavior, where you called somebody a bitch. You called them a woman, told them to remain at the sink and wash the dishes or something like that. So you really pushed it tonight with the women. Jen Wallace says, Right Reaction. So you only hope oxygen exists. Anyone can answer that question, Jen. That is such a desperate attempt. All right. Right Reaction with the academic speech now. The statistical correlation between Western Buddhists and people who smoke. Sorry, Jen, this one is funny. Okay, let me try and read this without laughing. The statistical correlation between Western Buddhists and people who smoke weed is linear. Right Reaction is on one today. Jen Willis says, why so religious? I never said mad, I said annoyed. There's a good comment. May God guide you, Jen, says Suspicious Soul. Why so religious? She's mad that her religion doesn't have answers to basic questions. Yeah, well, your questions were causing suffering, definitely. Why so? Yeah, that was clear. Uncle Yazid, big up Jen Wallace for trying though. LOL. Her Zakir Naik reputation was too much. Yeah. Well, I can't knock people for criticizing Zakir Naik. I'm critical of him too. So, Right Reaction says, aha, Why So Religious is a member of the patriarchy. Yes, indeed. Actually, smoking weed is directly against our doctrine. Really? Smoking, Jen, why is it against your doctrine? Can you elaborate? Thanks. Okay, Mr. Islam says America is a stupid country. He's quoting Bill Maher, the Islamophobic, bluish. What else is he? Democrat, liberal lefty. Jen Wallace, yes, yeah. So I managed to get through all the comments there. But yeah, I enjoyed tonight's show. I'm glad I went live, and I appreciate everyone that's watching and everybody that tuned in and everybody that jumped on. So big up. Probably gonna log off in a minute. Just put the link out just in case anybody's got something else to say. There we go. They may cloud our minds during meditation. Well, yeah, weed would have existed back then because weed is like an organic material. It's natural. Right Reaction says, I have four things to say, Reactionary. 4-0. You're going to get yourself deported from Germany. Yeah, Right Reaction. Be careful. Elrond might turn up at your door with an offensive weapon. Jen Wallace says, yes, Right Reaction. We all fall short, right? You got Denmark next. Yes, we do. Now, Suspicious Soul says you've got Denmark next, which I'm thinking Suspicious Soul then is not from the UK. So you could be from Germany, you could be from the US. Where are you from, Suspicious Soul? Elrond is crying and sending me memes about a German win. Yeah, I saw a photograph of Sebastian Vettel, the Formula One driver. He's racing for Aston Martin now. And at his locker, all of the engineers, they put England flags to kind of tease him. Uncle Yazid says, yo, Reactionary, where's It Boy? What do you mean, It Boy? What's that mean? Where's Academic Screeching? Is that what you mean? Well, Academic Screeching has had a few reincarnations, yeah? Changed into Analyze That, and then Educated Guest. And I'm not allowed to say the new name. And anyway, it's not a boy. It could be a girl. Right Reaction says, I like it. Yeah. Scandinavia. Oh, okay, Suspicious Soul, Scandinavia. That's a nice country, isn't it? Scandinavia. Region. It's not a country. You know, again, I had a funny comment on one of the live streams. Somebody said, you know, Oxford wasn't a Muslim country. You know that, right? Oxford wasn't a Muslim country. Country? Are you serious? Yeah, that had me cracking up. Mr. Islam Reactionary Salam Initiative is worse than EF Dawah. Oh, Salam Initiative. What's Salam Initiative? Yeah, the Ali Dawah group, yeah? When you say they're worse, what do you mean? Are they cultish? Do they have a cult-like following? If that's the case, then I'll agree with you. Suspicious Soul. Yeah, so if nobody's allowed to say anything critical of Salam Initiative, then I'll agree. Mr. Islam is worse than Salam, says Jordan M. Yeah. What else? So Andy Murray's out, by the way, Jordan M. Do you see that? Andy Murray is out. I don't think he even broke a sweat. Uncle Yazid says, no, they're not cult. What, Salam Initiative is not a cult? I need my morning coffee. You almost done, Reaction? Yeah, I'm almost done. I'm going to log off shortly. Are you going live today, Right Reaction? You need to go live every day. You know, it's like my day is incomplete if I don't see you or giving a lecture about something, showing some graphs on the screen, telling us about Stanford and yeah. No, for real though, you add a lot of value to the streams. Right reaction, so keep it up. Especially, I'm really keen to hear your feedback on that the election results. Do you think it was rigged, fixed? Do you think there was foul play? What do you think happened there? I was not expecting that result. Plus, Galloway is talking about challenging it. Do you think there's any point in challenging it? It's Uncle Yazid to defend the Colts again. Not rigged at all. Okay. So then that, what's her name? Naz Shah was successful at dividing the Muslims then. That's your view. Okay. Well, yeah, that's it then. I'm going to call it a night. Well, it's actually morning. So I'm going to call it a morning. And I've enjoyed the show, so thanks for keeping my company, everyone. I'll leave it there. So I'll ask Allah to bless you all and myself. And keep us safe from all harm. And bring good our way. Big up. All right. Sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.